And welcome to Beerfield. I am your host at Hop BFF with 2 P's. As always, joined by at Ryan Miner _FFB.
Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah, I forgot that I've been focused on other things. I forgot that I was supposed to keep screwing with you. Have
you hit live? Oh, there it is.
What?
I was asking if you hit it live, and you did.
Why would you doubt me? After 406 episodes, I got this down. Why would you doubt me?
Yeah.
Never mind the fact that we haven't been able to post an audio episode for 2 weeks.
Why would you ever doubt me?
Why would you ever doubt me?
Why would you ever doubt me?
That supple voice you hear and face you see this week, because you couldn't see it on Sunday, at Beerfield Theory.
I am day 5 of the COVID. I am I'll be able to go back to work. Masked up, of course, because God damn it, be safe. But it's been fun at home. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't want to leave now, do you?
It's just different.
It's one of those. Yeah, it's just one of those scenes where it's just like, well, I mean, I gotta leave, but
different perspective. You're like, it's been fun at home, and I'm like, Jesus, I spend every day at home.
right.
Yeah, right.
I'm kidding. It hasn't been that bad. We got a packed show for you here today. We're going to go over in kind of our how's the season going session. We're going to check in on some year 2, year 3 players. We talk about them in Dynasty a lot and how we need to give them a chance. So we're going to check in on some of those guys. Maybe not the obvious good ones, but some of the more fringe guys. Got all sorts of week 5 previews to get into. And we got some news. So I'm going to use this first one as a bridge into to what's fueling Beerfield here. So just straight actually no, we'll go ahead and have you two go and then I'll review last. Let's do that. I like that more suspense.
What's fueling Beerfield?
Dan, go ahead.
Dan's drinking water because Dan can't taste anything, remember?
Oh yeah. So we'll get
so I can't taste. So during my shower today though, I was able to smell for a little while because of all the steam was actually clearing up everything upstairs. I was like, ooh, now I know what soap smells like again. Now I know what water smells like again.
It would have been a great time for you to review something like a Natty Daddy.
It tastes. I have no clue what beer tastes like. I'm not, because I haven't drank one. I haven't tried without the no tasting, but
I don't know how you're doing it. When I couldn't taste anything, I was like, I'm not touching anything at all. I gave up eating and drinking anything at all.
Water doesn't have much of a flavor anyway, so.
No, but water, just like the feeling of it in my mouth, I was like, oh, this doesn't even feel right.
Well, I can't taste phlegm anymore, so that was good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's one good say.
Yeah, that's one good thing. I just don't taste anything.
I just never lost taste and smell.
Yeah. You and my wife got lucky in that one.
Yeah. Not the only thing we both got lucky with.
Oh,
dun, dun, dun.
That's me.
Uh-huh. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't see myself winking on camera, and then I remembered everything's reversed, and I was looking at the wrong eye.
He just like, I did it with the right eye. Why is it showing the left eye? I'm not Lisa. What kind of crap is this?
Is there something in your eye?
Yeah.
You.
A twinkle.
And whatever that beer is you're holding.
This one? Oh, I haven't had this one yet.
Oh, Jesus. Are you drinking another Oktoberfest?
He said he hasn't had it yet.
No,
I'm not drinking on it. No, that's just my chaser beer. Today I am drinking
your what?
Still.
Hey. Ali Mahua.
I have the Wild Sour series.
So that question. That's a tropical sour ale, Dan.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Is that just a soured Hawaii 5?
So the only difference is because peach isn't a Hawaiian fruit, we swapped out peach for passion fruit. But yes.
Gotcha. Cool. I thought so when I saw how you guys named it and everything, but wanted to be sure. Yeah. I bet that's delicious.
It's very good.
Oh, really? Am I going to like it? Because
I have no clue if you'll like it or not.
Like
I mean, you drink Boston. I mean, you drink Sam Adams the last 2 weeks, and I can't trust your taste at all.
And a damn thing wrong with Sam Adams.
I can't stand Sam Adams.
All right.
I love it.
Into the news.
Hopper, what are you drinking tonight?
Nope, I promise I'll get to that. We ain't there yet. Into the news.
It's something for Blake Bortles.
You can see the jersey hanging behind me.
I can. I can't believe he retired. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I didn't say no.
Robbie Blake Bortles was drafted with the 3rd overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft. Easily the best quarterback in his draft class, Bortles is the only one to appear in an AFC title game. Suck it, Derek Carr.
Yeah, fuck you, Derek Carr.
He retires 2nd all-time in passing yards for the storied Jacksonville Jaguars and top 3 in most passing statistics for that team. Suck it, David Garrard. He set team records in touchdowns and pass yards in 2015. Despite those team records, though, his greatest accomplishment in the 2015 season was making people believe that Allen Hurns was good. Bortles changed the game, paving the way for mobile quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts, rushing for over 300 yards in every season he played in Jacksonville. In 2017, Bortles carried the Jaguars to the AFC title game despite having no receiver go over 750 yards and being saddled by a defense that included the likes of Jalen Ramsey, A.J. Boye, Paul Posluszny, Yannick Ngakoue, and Miles Jack. Bums. The boat was never given a fair shake after leaving Jacksonville, being disrespected by the Rams, Broncos, Saints, and Packers, never seeing the field again. I'd like to congratulate Jake Bortles. I'd like to congratulate Blake Bortles on realizing that the NFL doesn't deserve him or his talents. To an exceptional retirement, ripping cigs, working construction, or whatever life holds next for him.
God, that was fucking beautiful.
That was.
That
I feel like
was
almost crying on that one.
That was so amazing
You put a lot of heart behind that one.
that we finally got through that.
And we're not done, don't worry.
No, we're not done. We have a whole fucking show for it.
In honor of Blake Bortles, I am drinking the working man's bourbon, but the likes of, which you also may not see again, the 6-year Green Label Heaven Hill.
Ooh.
They recently stopped shipping. It's only available in Kentucky and even harder to find there. $20 bottle, so it's nothing extravagant, but it's delicious and it's blue collar, much like the boat. So now I got to ask. Blake Bortles puts a bow on a career. Is he a Hall of Famer?
No doubt.
No.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Okay, you say no, Ryan. Can you give me your reasons for that?
Why?
Ryan
What
doesn't
reason?
like fun.
Nah.
Ryan doesn't like fun at all.
I
He
would
hates fun.
just like to say that Blake Bortles has a higher completion percentage, quarterback rating, and touchdown rate than Hall of Famer Johnny Unitas. He also has more rush yards and pass yards per game, a lower interception per game rate, and was overall better in the playoffs. Also, he stomps Hall of Famer Joe Namath in completion percentage, quarterback rate, has way fewer interceptions, and also was a much better rusher. So you say Bortles isn't a Hall of Famer. I say there's an argument because he's better than Johnny Unitas and better than Joe Namath.
I say nay.
That was back in the 70s.
What did
They
those
didn't
ever
pass the
do?
ball.
So Blake Bortles should be punished because of when he was born?
Yeah.
If Blake Bortles
That's his
played in the
fault.
70s, he would have been a surefire Hall of Famer.
Yeah, well, that's Mr. and Mrs. Bortles' fault.
They,
God, Blake Bortles is like
They were
like
10.
Eddie played then. That'd
Their
be
dad,
amazing.
Mr. Bortles, his dad should have been playing football already. And we don't have this issue.
Mr.
He could've been like a-
Bortles was a
He could have been like
wrestler.
a Manning.
Mr. Bortles was a wrestler, and Mrs. Bortles was a high school softball player. I read the Wikipedia page today.
We know that Wikipedia is never wrong.
Never
Never
wrong.
lie.
Never wrong. Blake Bortles. I mean, what other player in NFL history is name dropped so much on one of the best sitcom TV shows,
Right?
The Good Place? I mean, I'm telling you right now, if he's not first ballot Hall of Fame, fuck the Hall of Fame. It ain't worth nothing no
It's
more.
a joke anyway.
I mean, honestly, it really is a joke.
Yeah.
But
Too many people get in it now. It's not even entertaining.
Right? and
Everyone gets in.
wait,
You get a
wait,
shot.
You way too many people in here.
They shafted Devin Hester last year. I mean,
That's because they don't respect special teams.
yeah, and everybody should respect special
Justin
teams.
Tucker probably won't even be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
You know who?
And then I'll
Deion Sanders?
legitimately
Deion Sanders was.
riot. Deion Sanders was not just a special teams guy. He was also a dominant defensive back.
Yeah, but Hester was a good wide receiver when he had to be a receiver.
He was okay, but you can't really compare that.
Let's just say that he makes Cordero Patterson look like an elite route runner.
He was a quarterback for a while too. People forget that.
Oh my God, what? That's right.
He
See,
was
defensive
drafted.
back.
He was drafted as a DB. So anyway,
It's amazing.
a lot of tongue in cheek in that, but some of that is actually true. I didn't realize that in 2017 they made the AFC title game with no receiver over 700 yards. He did make Allen Hurns look like a competent receiver somehow, and he did. I can't say revolutionized it because of Michael Vick, but in our era of fantasy, he was one of the, OG garbage time point getters, but two
big time
guys that solidified that rushing floor. I said Lamar Jackson jokingly, but guys like Justin Herbert would be a better comparison with some of that mobility, some of that rushing floor. Don't have to rely on it, but it really ups their fantasy value. Now, obviously, not comparing them as passers, purely in athleticism, but it's a similar type of concept. You had Justin Herbert just being good, Blake Bortles being garbage time Bortles, but they both had that similar rushing floor of, showing that you can get value out of a quarterback that may not put up gaudy passing stats, but is going to run for 300 to 500 yards and get you some rushing touchdowns and add some rushing floor into the statistics to put him top 10.
The one thing that blows my mind is I always remember Bortles I think it was in the playoffs. It was something like receiver running back to the block, and he was like laughing, taking off with the ball.
Yeah,
during the block.
Yep.
And that's the only thing I remember of Bortles, was just laughing, and I started laughing. That's pretty bad. That's all I remember. I know.
Jesus.
All right, keeping her moving. Let's get into the news. We'll have full reviews on the drinks halfway through. Devonta Williams is done for the year, torn ACL, PCL.
Rough.
Latavius Murray signed up the Saints practice squad to Denver. Mike Boone would be the next guy behind Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon is expected to play on Thursday. So, do you think one of those guys carves in other than change of pace, or is this Melvin Gordon's backfield as long as he's healthy? I think it's Gordon's to start.
And he stops, funneling the football. But it's not like Mike Boone did anything to actually strengthen his case. Multiple drops, especially towards the end of the game when they needed it. I can't see Latavius Murray being much of anything on Thursday.
Latavius Murray is out this week. He's already inactive, I think.
He should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and the problem is, you really want to roll out Mike Boone on Thursday night football?
No, so you're rolling.
What's going to be a bad matchup? Your two best offensive players on both teams are fucking out. That's fuck this game. This game's going to suck so much.
What do you mean Michael Pittman's out there?
I said what I said.
That was Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
I said what I said.
Thank you, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll be proven wrong. Maybe it'll actually be a competent game from quarterbacks who've struggled to start this year.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when
Monday night's game.
Talk about that when we get to the previews.
I'm just throwing it out there as a foreshadowing.
Traylon Burks is dealing with turf toe. He's gonna miss some time. This Tom Brady thing is crazy.
Dude, I know.
It doesn't make any sense.
Everybody was joking that he ruined his marriage by coming back to the NFL, and then they both hired divorce attorneys, and it really seems like he ruined his marriage by returning to play in the NFL. Giselle cited basically him not being any younger, playing a violent sport, his kids needing to be present more in his child's lives, and choosing to return to play football again.
That
literally quoted.
That
she did also say that Tom deserves to have his happiness doing whatever it is that he wants to do, but she has to take care of her and her children.
Damn, that's cold-blooded.
That is.
He went from mouth kissing his kids to barely ever wanting to see him. How bad are those kids, man? Fuck.
To now splitting down 100% of everything.
They
50,
gotta
50.
have a fucking nanny. There's no way they don't have a live-in au pair.
Does Giselle just not do anything at all, so she gets to throw all the blame and shade onto him? That sounds weird. I'm not defending the man here. Fuck that. Nope, we're good.
Yeah, no, I can't defend him. It just sounds like there was some
not at
agreement
all.
there, and he definitely recanted on that. And for anybody that's married out there, if you say you're going to do something, you probably better not go back on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what it is.
There's 0 point. I mean, obvious. I don't want to say 0.0. It's more like 0.5. There are some legitimate reasons you have to that you can't control. But if you are not forced to have to do that, there's almost zero acceptable reason to do that.
It makes no sense. So she was probably like, so either you stay with us or you go back and play football and we're gone. All right, bye.
It sounds like maybe before last season, they agreed one more year and then he would be home. And he didn't like that decision once he got into the offseason.
They kicked the can again and said, one more year.
Yeah. And she put her boundaries there and drew a line in the sand, and good for her. You also have to wonder if that's why Brady's off to a slow start. Anyway.
He had a good game Monday night.
He did. Right after they hired the divorce attorneys. Maybe that was a weight off his shoulders. I have no idea.
On the up and up here.
Dave Montgomery's still not practicing, so he's probably not going to play this week. Just things to know. Russell Wilson, Melvin Gordon, both questionable, both already are in versus Indy. Isaiah McKenzie in concussion protocol. Keep an eye on that if he can get cleared by Sunday. Somebody who won't be cleared by Sunday, Tua Tagovailoa, ruled out for Week 5. He's in concussion protocol, as he should have been before Week 4. That independent neurologist is fired. I don't think we need to talk about that a lot more. Dan? Nobody can hear you, Dan.
He's fucked.
There you go.
I've been coughing so much, I've been turning off my mic. I was trying to be nice.
You forgot.
I forgot to turn it back on.
Keenan Allen's still not practicing. This one's interesting in here because Keenan Allen was practicing in a limited fashion and then went back to DNP at the end of last week. Staley's not coming out saying directly whether he's had a setback or not, but the fact that he's not practicing this week tells me he had a setback and is likely not going to play this week either. Welcome back to early career Keenan Allen stuff.
Right?
Yep.
Mac Jones and Hunter Renfrow both returned to practice. Jones in a limited fashion. Renfrow full, cleared concussion protocol. Brian Robinson activated from the NFI list. 21 days to be returned to the active roster. If he's available on your waiver wire, go grab and stash. Not that Gibson's been bad, but I think that there's a clear role for both of them, and Robinson's is considerably different and probably the primary lead, first and second down back at least. Once he's healthy.
Couldn't say I wouldn't bet on it this week, but yeah,
not this week. He's gonna have to get back into
2, 3,
shape.
4 weeks down the line. Yeah, it just depends, and that's if Gibson doesn't decide to improve his play.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor is not gonna play in Week 5, so ankle injury for him. MRIs were negative. Short week though. Probably would play if it was a long week, but with it being a short week, Colts choosing to rest him. So Phillip Lindsay, Deion Jackson, the backups there, and then obviously Nyheim Hines. And Nyheim Hines is the only one you should trust. And Cole Beasley also retired from the NFL. That's all he gets, though.
Fuck him. You don't get shit.
All right. So second and third year check-ins. We're going to start with 2021 and work our way back. I'm going to go position by position. So starting with quarterbacks, let's just break down the starters here. Trevor Lawrence, obviously, much, much better season so far under Doug Peterson. This is more the trend we expected with him. Dan, your head shaking is very good for podcasting.
I know.
the utter silence, because we're like, I think he's finally on that up and up edge. So I like where his trajectory is going. I just want to see it continue. But I mean, like, he just came off that bad game. But I also look at that bad game as the weather game. And I kind of even felt like I feel like this is going to be not a good QB game for him. So yeah, I think he's on the up and up.
Only threw 23 times, bad completion percent. Like you said, bad weather game. First really dud of the year. for him. It's definitely trending the right direction.
This for Lawrence.
For Lawrence, yeah.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson, we're gonna just go past that. He's played one game this season, so not really a whole lot to deduce from that.
TBD.
Yeah.
TBD.
Same with
right
Trey
now.
Lance. Obviously the injury is a huge setback for him. Because while Zach Wilson will still get the majority of his second year, Trey Lance is going to be 2 years into that contract without having a significant run as a starter. So he's got a huge uphill battle because of injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
It's no bueno.
Mm-hmm. And then Mac Jones has very, very much just been as advertised.
Worst this year so far.
Yeah, he's taking like a step back.
Worse offense, though, too. So I give him a little bit of a pass just because I don't know how. Let me put it this way.
I mean, is it a worse offense this year?
In
terms of his receiving talent?
Not in terms of receiving talent. I'm not saying it in terms of receiving talent. I'm saying in terms of he went through an entire offseason and most of training camp not even knowing who the hell was going to be calling plays.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true.
That's fair. I blame that on Belichick. What the fuck are you doing, man?
Exactly.
Yeah, giving it to Matt Patricia, it's like,
yeah, no one wants this.
No, thank you.
Right. So 5 picks, 2 touchdowns. Matt Patricia, a defensive guy, is leading the offense. So do I think the talent's worse? No. Do I think the game planning is worse? 100%. Definitely. So I don't know how much you can pin that on him. Also,
they're just making him a game manager.
Well, we also know that the defense is worse too, right? So that's going to ultimately change how you have to play on offense. And that's exactly what we thought Mac was going to be, was a glorified game manager coming out.
Yeah.
So
just as you said earlier, I mean, he is pretty much as we thought he was. He's going to float this line. There very little people thought he would exceed to some, Peyton Manning level. He's not very mobile. So he's going to have to make his due, within that pocket. And New England's never really shown, especially with how they, with what they did with Brady, that they're willing to just throw their quarterback to the fire.
No. And the other thing is you're not going to be as heady of a player as Tom Brady is.
No. And unfortunately for Jones, he's the guy that has to follow it. Like, he is the next franchise guy to follow that up. So
yeah.
And we have zero clue because Belichick's had that guy for so long. And now we get 18, 19 games with Jones's career so far. And then he will get wrongfully blamed for a lot of shit too for it because he's following Brady. And yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah. Looking at the other quarterbacks, Kyle Trask still holding his backup job. Kellen Mond, not so much. Davis Mills down season after doing a little bit of promise year 1. Is anybody surprised by that?
No.
I didn't think so.
I even read something today that they're just saying possible benching, but who are you going to bench him for? It's not like anything.
It'd be a horrible decision to bench him,
right?
Who the hell's their backup?
Ooh.
Hold on, I'm looking.
They didn't draft a rookie quarterback this year.
No,
they didn't draft anyone for a quarterback. Not even a free agent.
It's Kyle Allen.
Okay. Exactly. Yeah. There's no point to bench him.
Yeah. Definitely no point in benching him. And I think
we should be moving off of him in Dynasty too.
They have anybody
Davis
on their
Mills
practice squad? Jeff Driscoll's on their practice squad. He's a quarterback again, though, instead of a tight end. They did the tight end experience with him last year. Now he's a quarterback again.
They're like, no, we're good, bro.
There's absolutely no threat there to Davis Mills.
Yeah, you're not a Taysom Hill for us.
Talking about dynasty value, though, there's not a lot of dynasty Taysom Hill.
No.
Keep removing running.
He peaked last year.
Yep. Keep removing running backs. Najee Harris struggling in this new offense.
I'm not
new
surprised.
Offense, same offense, new people,
new everything.
Yeah. No offensive line.
Has trended up in the running game every week. So there's that. Maybe there's some hope for a slow start, but where he's really getting hit is the receiving work.
Yeah, Trubisky didn't like to dump it off, and I don't know what Kyle Pitts is going to do if he's going to be one that dumped it off just like how Big
I
Ben
mean, you
did.
have both mobile quarterbacks.
Did
There's
you
no
say
Mike.
Kyle Pitts?
He did say Kyle Pitts.
Oh, Kyle
Kenny Pickett?
Pickett. Kenny Pickett. Jesus, Pete, I cannot get it out right today.
That's what she said.
These OPs. No, I don't know what Kenny Pickett's gonna do. We'll see. It's at least a breath of fresh air here, but for people that took Najee Harris as the 4th or 5th back off the board, this is a very Jacobs-esque start to the season.
Yeah.
Yep.
What does that mean for Dynasty? I don't think it moves the needle a whole heck of a lot on him. You're a little bit down because of recency bias, but it's more so a product of the offense than it is Najee, I think.
Yeah, but even if you're looking to get anything for him, you're basically going to be looking for a back-end RB2 because
That's
basically
what
what
he is
he's
right now.
worth it. All right.
The value's down.
Yeah, it's not even worth trading.
Indeed. Travis Etienne. Dan?
It's not pretty, right? I know. With Jamal Agnew, I guess being the one that is now getting the receiving work. Last week wasn't pretty for any of the running game, though. It's not like James Robinson did much of anything. But we know James Robinson has that role. And for Travis Etienne, if he can't seem to take more of that out of the backfield receiving work, then there is some concern. I'm not ready to give up yet. Obviously, if we're not in the same vein as Najee because he hasn't been as productive as Najee, but you're not going to get the value in which you put into Etienne last year back in return. So you have to hold and hope that it gets better. And if it does, then you either move off of him if you're ready to give up, or you just continue to hold in hopes that the offense kind of rides it out and ends up being that productive help.
His target volume would basically have to double for him to be what you want him to be right now, I think. He's getting 3 to 4 a game. If he was in that 6 to 8 a game, which is, kind of where Nyheim Hines is when he has value. It's where we've seen J.D. McKissick when he has significant value. In the past, James White, Darren Sproles. That was what your hope is for Etienne, and that hasn't materialized yet. And
your hope is that he turns into Alvin Kamara. You're hoping this Jacksonville backfield is 2017 Saints.
Mm-hmm.
And you have Etienne who can ride those, 6 to 10 targets and just a handful of rushes and be efficient with it. Unfortunately, he doesn't have Drew Brees throwing the ball. He's got a mobile quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, and he doesn't have Sean Payton as his head coach and his offensive scheme guy. So, I mean, you give credit to Doug Peterson, but he is no Sean Payton.
Give credit to Doug Peterson, but it's not the same. It's not the same scheme.
No, we knew it was going to be like an RBBC, but Etienne is at RB40 right now in PPR. So
good RB40. He's
Yeah,
just outside of flex value.
Hey, Najee Harris is at 26,
which is an high-end flex. So,
and both players have disappointed at relative cost.
Yeah, but one went first, the other one went the fourth.
The difference is that Najee Harris has insulated rushing touches and Etienne doesn't. I
wonder what teams are doing better with though. You spent the top 5 pick and your running backs busting, or you spent your 4th round pick in hopes that your first 3 picks are hitting. So
it really just depends on what you did with those first 3 picks.
Yeah.
If you nailed them, you did great. If you didn't, you're not looking good right now.
There's a lot of people hurting right now.
It's bad. The robust RB, it's looking very, very fucking grim right now.
Yeah.
The fact that 0 RB gets a victory lap because all these running backs can't stay healthy, or outside of Barkley really haven't been great.
Yeah. Speaking of not healthy, Javonte Williams, after a strong start, hurt. So skipping over that one because injuries don't change much. Trey Sermon hurt. Michael Carter, hot start. He's fallen off the last couple weeks, and Zach Wilson coming back, not a great thing. It's, he's a good handcuff, but it's a lot like Etienne right now where, he started with good target volume and then that went away and he's not enough carries to hold up his end.
Yeah, I think this is Brees Hall's going to start taking off now.
Yeah.
mean, that's what you have to hope for.
And that's what I think is going to happen. Of course, he's
Yeah,
got
he's
nicks and
an
bruises,
RB17.
end quote. Hall? Yeah. And that was always how I thought this was going to go. I think how we thought this was going to go was Carter would start out in that 60-40 split and Hall would slowly take it over. And, yeah, we're there.
It's looking good.
Yep. Beyond that, Kene Wanwu still with the Vikings special teams ace. Ramondre Stevenson. Now, this is a guy who's on the upswing, kind of the opposite of what the rest of the class is. Ramondre Stevenson, we highlighted him in the offseason, having very good broken tackle numbers and potentially being able to cut into Damian Harris's touches, while also improving in the receiving game. We've got 5 targets to him the last 2 weeks, but touch volume's also up. He's got a touchdown and 60-plus yards in both of those weeks as well. He starts to gain a little bit of a handle on this.
Ryan.
I'm sorry. I was trying to look at other running backs right now.
So you didn't hear anything I just said about Ramondre Stevenson?
No. Sorry.
No, I mean, look, this is great for dynasty values. You just mentioned Hopper. This is him on the up and up because we should expect him and Damian Harris to be gone after this year.
Mm-hmm.
This is a movement in the right direction for redraft because should hopefully expect him to overtake the starting role. Damian Harris will have value in terms of probably flex if Stevenson gets hurt. Stevenson should, to what point does it stop this year for how much he takes? Remains to be seen, but unfortunately, New England's offense isn't very good. So scoring upside's not there. So he's definitely, I mean, flex RB2, I think is his ceiling. The upside is ceiling the floor is RB2 and flex.
I think he's solidly in RB2, which is flex. I mean, at this point, a lot of guys you flex week in and week out are going to be RB2.
Yeah. I mean,
some underlying numbers on him. He's first in juke rate. He's first in evaded tackles. That's the counting stat, by the way.
Yeah.
New England's running the ball the 8th most times, 12th in breakaway runs. Again, for a guy that's in part-time duty, 8th in yards created per touch. So a lot to like there with what he's getting right now, but he's also 6th in light front carry rate. So they are expecting him in the passing game, and he's able to do stuff when they're not stacking the box. As he cuts into that workload a little bit more and gets rushing downs, you wonder if it hurts that efficiency any, but the efficiency right now looks great. His snap share's been over half the last 2 weeks. So,
yeah, I mean, you wish he's more efficient as a passer already, but I mean, again, efficiency is also the product of your offense too.
Yeah, you're running the last week.
They're on your 4th fucking quarterback right now, and they just it sucks. Well, they just brought somebody else in. We'll see. We'll see Bailey Zappi how long that'll last.
Bailey Zappi's a badass.
Oh yeah, I like Zappi.
Sorry.
No, it's yeah. Like I said, he's RB2 flex.
Go ahead.
They're both RB2 flex because I feel like they both kill each other's ability. Because
I think Harris is flex. I don't know if he's RB2 range if you can start losing more touches as an opportunity to Ramondre, but that was always a concern with them anyways. Was at some point.
Yep.
It could be a Ramondre week. It could be a Harris week.
It's also the Patriots, and it's also an offense you don't want to invest too heavily in too. So
whatever you think it is, go the opposite way. You guys are saying Stevenson. I'm going the other way.
That is a true fantasy football veteran saying. Been burned too much.
All right, Chuba Hubbard. Got it. Good. Done. Kenneth Gainwell. It's just solidly in a backup role right now.
Yeah.
Elijah Mitchell can't stay healthy. When he's healthy, he's been good. Play that however you will. I don't know that you can trust. He's shown to be injury prone the first couple seasons. So, I mean, when he's healthy, you have an RB1. When he's hurt, not much you can do with that. So,
and they're still taking 3rd round bust running backs too.
They just love fucking those picks up so bad.
Yeah,
like 3rd round. What running back is out there that we should probably overdraft?
Right.
Small and slow.
For Mitchell, you could have a buy low opportunity if you're a running back needy team. He should be back. Really, I think he can come back week 6 if he's healthy. So he should be back here very, very soon. And then, I mean, you're betting on him staying healthy, so don't trade the farm for him. But he is a running back that can produce that shouldn't cost a whole lot if you're in the trade market.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily have a lot of insulated dynasty value.
Yeah, I'd give at most a second round pick for it.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely
Just
would not. I would not get cute with it.
No.
No first round.
Not at all.
Nope.
2/3 at best.
Yep. Gary Brightwell, Larry Roundtree, Chris Evans, nothing to say there. Khalil Herbert has really found himself as the Alexander Madison of the Bears right now. Fair.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He's better than Madison. I would not besmirk Khalil Herbert's name by trying to say that Madison's on his level.
Okay, he's better than Madison. Either way, premium tier. Premium tier.
Just saying.
Premium tier handcuff.
Yes, very high end.
And then
I know.
Yeah, should absolutely be rostered everywhere. Should be that going forward. But if Montgomery's healthy, at least this year, not a whole lot to look into. Now, Montgomery's gone. Watch what they do in the offseason because Herbert could be the guy, and they're bringing a pass catching back to help solidify that. He finds himself in more of an Elijah Mitchell role. That's the dynasty outlook on Khalil Herbert, though. So if Montgomery gets back, you might have an avenue for trades there and everything like that. He's in his second season, so he would have 2 more seasons left. He was also 24 when he was drafted, though, so that's the other thing to keep in mind.
I forgot he is old.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he is 26 now, so
He's 26. Herbert?
he was 24 when he was drafted, I'm pretty sure.
He was drafted last year.
Last year,
Yeah.
so he'd be 25 then, right?
He
Or is he just a
no, he's 24
early
in
26?
167 days. So he was 23, almost 24 when he was drafted.
It's like,
Sorry.
okay.
So he's 24. He'll be
It
25.
makes it a
Benjamin
little
Button.
better.
So
yeah.
he's
Yeah,
at least good through his rookie year and probably another bridge deal somewhere, potentially.
Yeah.
But just keep that in mind. This is a guy that's averaged over 4 yards an attempt both seasons so far. The coaching staff likes him. And he's shown when he gets the opportunity that he can be the guy. So probably the best late round guy here. Looking at wide receivers from this class, Jamar Chase, a little bit of a slow start.
The old Bengals offense really didn't get it going until what this not this past Sunday, but the Sunday previously. It's not. I mean, it's on Burrow getting healthy. The offensive line got a massive makeover. So it's gonna take a little bit of time for them to get their chemistry going.
They're starting to.
Not surprised. And plus, C. Higgins is pretty fucking good at football.
Right.
And there's only so many footballs that you know that can go around. You still have Boyd, who's a very good slot receiver. You bring in Hayden Hurst, who's a viable tight end.
Usually one
And you have
football.
Mixon.
Usually one football. They can
Usually
go
one
around.
football.
When you have
Yeah.
more than one on the field, they start to get a little upset.
What is
Right?
this shit happening? Or a new way to improve the game. Who knows?
Fair enough. Dynasty values neutral on Chase since the start of the season. Jalen Waddle, that has gone up.
Yeah, 3 spots, the wide receiver 3 for me.
Yeah.
freaking nuts.
Like he was already top 10 still. I turned pretty hard on Waddle after seeing what I saw, especially at
I
the start of this year.
turned pretty hard after the start of this year too, because I was concerned about them bringing in Tyreek Hill, and
Exactly.
really the way that they used him last year killed him as far as the ADOT goes. His ADOT though is up 3 yards a target, which is huge. This
Yeah, it's
season,
fucking massive.
Yeah,
behind.
McDaniel's making them make Tua throw the ball. He wasn't making them a game manager. You know, the coaching staff last year was making more
Yeah.
of a game manager, so it's just dump offs.
his yards before catch per reception is up from 5.5 to 11. He's already halfway to his yards before catch this year as he was the entirety of last year.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's all to say that the way he was misused last season, and I think we knew that.
Yeah.
Being used that close to the line of scrimmage, they weren't letting him field stretch. They were trying to have him make plays with the ball in his hands. It wasn't the way to use Waddle. This season, off to a great start, and I think that the dynasty value has gone up on him since the start of the season because he proved that Tyreek Hill is not a death sentence, and the quarterback he's going to be tied to proved that, yeah, I can support this.
Yeah, I was wrong.
I mean, a lot of people
I was too.
were not wrong for being skeptical on it. I mean, I didn't think the ADOT would be, would be bad this year. I didn't think it would improve this much, but I mean, and it should be that way once Tua was back too. Like, I just don't see that falling off after Tua gets back from his,
Concussion,
his injury.
So,
yeah, and
it's not like his arm fell off or anything like that.
it's not like Mike McDaniels is going to retire anytime soon either. So this
I also
offense
thought-
continue to be, to improve as they keep playing together.
But I also thought like with Hill coming in, that would affect Waddle more than anything. Like it'd be like it could be a Waddle week, it could be a Hill week. Then you're trying to guess who's who for that week, but it seems like they're both complimenting each other pretty well.
And I think
it's really good, nice balance.
And I think a lot of that was, I had that same concern, and I think a lot of that was just Tua, and it's, it wasn't so much those two, it's can the quarterback support that? And then also McDaniel coming in from a run-first offense, but, he's not brought that run-first mentality necessarily. He's willing to open it up a little bit more than what Shanahan seemed to be, and Tua is showing, I can support two wide receivers just fine, which is not obscure in today's NFL. It's just,
no,
the good quarterbacks can do that.
We got a question.
What's up?
Anthony, is that Persia?
Jesus,
says,
they shouldn't make you pronounce names.
I know.
Probably right.
He says, hey, but y'all, he goes, would y'all? Because you gotta say with the, with that southern draw. Apparently,
I love
would
y'all.
Would y'all trade Najee Harris away for James Robinson and Darren Waller?
Yeah,
right now.
Redraft, right? Redraft, yes.
He says right now. I'll just complete the comment. He has Miles Sanders, Damian Pierce, Jeff Wilson Jr., and Rashad Penny already. And the answer, if it's redraft,
yes.
The answer is still yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm yes either way.
Yeah. If it's Dynasty, no.
If it's
redraft,
Dynasty,
yes.
I'm a little less bullish on that in Dynasty. But redraft, 100%.
Yeah.
If you're pushing for now, like if you're like pushing that win now team, you wouldn't do that trade with Najee Harris on your team?
No.
I would.
No.
I would try to get out of Najee Harris if I could.
No.
I don't like making Dynasty trades that are only players. I don't know why.
And if you're moving Harris, why would you? I mean, like
you're getting a few running backs in the deal.
Well, you're getting one.
You're one.
It's to swap with James Robinson and adding Darren Waller.
Oh, that's right. He read the team. I'm sorry.
It's not Dynasty. Redraft, yes.
Yes. Smash and redraft, yeah.
No, and yeah. So we won't have to go in the Dynasty on it, but
yep, smash that in redraft. All right, Kadarius Toney mostly hurt. Rashad Bateman is doing about as best as you can as a wide receiver in Baltimore with the target volume there. That's not a knock on Lamar Jackson. That's just how the offense runs.
It's I mean, it's also credit to Jackson being able to spread the football the way that he does. He
does.
Bateman's not Diggs, so he doesn't have to, he plays with a quarterback that wants to spread the ball, but he just won't command it. It's just 'cause Jackson is still, like, I think in his mind, he still wants to do it all at times.
Yeah, and he's still getting a good amount of targets. There's still, touchdown upside. I mean, it's a dice roll every week, though. He's flex value right now, and I don't know that his dynasty value has necessarily gone up to start the season.
It should be pretty even. I would think. I don't think he's moved down at all. I mean, maybe there might be some people salty that he hasn't been more consistent and he's been a little more touchdown. He's been a little more touchdown dependent. But
the reason you move him down is if your expectations weren't realistic for what this season was going to be to begin with, and what a wide receiver in Baltimore could be. If you thought a wide receiver in Baltimore in this offense was going to come in and command, Mark Andrews' level of targets and take all that away, you're never realistic in what to expect.
Yeah.
No.
So it's just somebody they can lean on if they need to, and they don't always need to, and that's why it's going to be a crapshoot. But he's pretty efficient.
That is definitely true. He's very good.
Elijah Moore, again, kind of out on this one with Zach Wilson back. We've seen Moore perform a little bit better with Wilson, a little bit more, rapport there. But Corey Davis has also been pretty good, and I think that's cutting into Moore's target volume as he also sits kind of in that, that Bateman range of he gets a little bit more targets, he's a little bit less efficient.
Yeah, well,
yeah, I'm in that wait and see now.
Yeah, me
with
too.
More. Like come back.
It's also
like
Garrett
Elijah.
Wilson's.
4 more weeks.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson's also cutting
into that. Yeah,
because they play very similar roles. They would run similar routes and stuff. So you're having. I didn't think it'd be this bad to start. There is yes, I know that Zach Wilson hasn't played much. He's played one game this year, but
didn't look great. But he played one game.
More also down. He was also very dominant last year with what 4 different quarterbacks on top of with Zach Wilson, and throwing in just Garrett Wilson's a bit surprising that they can't get Elijah more involved.
I'm with you, and I mean, really though, right? This was kind of the threat of the Jets, and with Breece Hall, a good running game, you got 2 running backs you can trust, and then a quarterback that you might want to put in more of a game manager type of scenario if I'm being realistic, and then 3 wide receivers that are capable of commanding targets because Corey Davis isn't bad.
No.
And Garrett Wilson has high draft capital, and Elijah Moore showed he can be good. You've got 3 decent receivers there that can command targets, and if this is going to be a spread the ball around offense, that's going to hurt all of them.
Yeah, it's especially an offense that's probably not going to be top of the half and throwing, and Zach Wilson's still learning a lot of shit. He's so raw process. Like he didn't play enough last year, and he's already started off on the wrong foot. Not his own fault, got hurt, but
wrong knee.
Wrong knee. Yeah, he's on the wrong knee. He's off on. He's off to the wrong.
He's on the peg leg.
Yeah. Well, the other side of this is that unlike Pittsburgh, who is kind of a team in flex with a bad OC or one of these teams that's somebody talented in the middle of rebuilding or whatever, you've got the Jets who have pretty much got their pieces in place on offense. I mean, this is what the Jets are going to look like for at least 2 more years, right? Ideally, unless Wilson shits the bed, this is what they're going to look like for the next couple of years.
God, you better hope he doesn't shit the bed.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure how much longer Corey Davis is supposed to be under contract there, but
I think he's good after this year. Like,
I think
they can release him.
I think days will look better once it's just him and Wilson, and if they get a hit on Wilson.
That's true. Corey Davis, they do have an out after this season if they want to take it. 14 million in debt. So they don't have to. He's a free agent after 2023. So
yeah, might as well ride that.
No, that's this year. Sorry, I read the wrong year. 600,000 in dead cap. So they could cut him for cap savings if they needed to. The thing is, it's a young team. They don't have to cut him for cap savings, which is normally when you see that happen. And there's also not significant savings to cutting him. Corey Davis makes your team better, not just cutting him to make fantasy players happy. He's on it's an 11 million savings, but that's not the way that wide receiver contracts are going. That's not a big contract, and I don't think are.
It just depends who's coming up. Like I don't know of any young guys that are coming up that are going to be. They're expecting a bigger deal. I haven't looked at what the expected free agents are for next year either.
They're they're near the bottom in available cap space. They have $8 million for next year, which is not nothing. So,
I mean,
maybe they are looking to save a little bit, but I doubt it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like I'm not shocked in the direction that they go. The fact that it's a massive saving, they're going to cut Davis. They'll either do it right away, or they'll wait to see if they got to free up cap space to try to, maneuver through contracts. Like or they'll reconstruct his contract. and they'll convert a lot of that, into signing bonus, and then he won't be much against the kit. He won't hurt them much against the cap anyways.
I mean, it just comes down to the fact that they're probably better off cutting some of these older defensive guys too.
But
so,
either way, I don't.
Anyway.
All right.
Okay,
Anyway.
Enough.
Yeah. Moving on.
Enough.
Who we on again?
No, we were talking about Elijah Moore. Rondale Moore, bad rookie season and not a great start. He was hurt, so nothing on Eskridge. Well, Terrace Marshall's been a total bust. He has no value. Palmer is very, very fringe. You don't really find anybody with value till you get down to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's up.
Oh my God.
To the moon.
I was way so wrong on him.
Yeah. Yep. Now, we will see what happens here in a couple weeks, though.
I think
as
he's the
far
wide
as
receiver
utilization.
one.
I think he's the
I think he's top 12 in Dynasty.
Yeah.
I think he's the wide receiver one Dynasty easily. He's proved the start he's had historic. I don't see them investing as heavily into this receiving core after spending a first round pick in Jameson Williams. Now Hawk will be. They have 2 more years in Hawk.
Well, that's what I was curious on. Are you concerned at all when Jameson Williams comes back that you have another receiver there that could?
If you think Amon-Ra St.
targets?
Brown is this good, then it should not matter. They complement each other so well in terms of their play style. We just hope that Dan Campbell and this offense utilizes.
They're throwing a ton right
them
now,
in
though,
those
too.
ways.
So
Yeah.
where does it come from? Or do you just think Jameson Williams?
It's not supposed to come from. It's not supposed to come from.
That's how the
St.
offense
Brown.
is like designing.
It's gonna come from Josh Reynolds, DJ Chark, Hawk. Like it's not supposed to come from your elite guys.
That's true.
Those guys will pull. Like the offense throws enough that it should start to come from Reynolds and Chark at first, especially Chark.
Reynolds
I almost
is
see
getting
even at
good
worst.
target volume.
Yeah.
Even at worst, I'm gonna run St. Brown as a high end too. At worst.
That's at
even with
worst. I think
ones.
he's higher than that. I was just devil's advocate a little bit there.
Oh,
You got
no.
Jameson
Yeah.
Williams coming
It's like
working his way
even
back,
even with
so-
Jameson
there's a
Williams.
little concern. There's a little concern that
That's not
they
so-
could still
Yeah.
add a second round or third round pick receiver or go
That's-
out there and sign somebody new. They could.
Not saying
just
that the
don't think
floor is
they
going to
will.
fall out of Amon-Ra
no,
St. Brown.
God,
I don't
no.
think that at all. I think the floor has always been his best asset. But he's shown some ceiling.
It just goes to show that the wide receiver athleticism continues to be overrated in the NFL
It just depends on where
Right.
you play. And I've said that for
and underrated too.
well, but I've
comes from the same boat.
said this for years, and I want to make sure. Let me make sure he's the same boat here, but I think he is.
He was
He's got
like
a big burst score, an okay agility score, and he's playing over half the time in the slot. And burst and agility in the slot is success. There's been a lot of guys over the years that have had that, and every fucking person that number scouts misses it. And I don't know,
it's
because
more
they
so.
don't check all the boxes. Anybody that number scouts and combine scouts fucking misses it. It's why so many people missed on Renfro.
I mean, it's the NFL too telling us the same thing. I mean, they continuously fuck up and they find, but then again, they're finding value for these guys because the NFL as a whole
Yeah,
they don't really value
the
these
guys that-
inside slot guys.
The guys that went ahead of him: Des Fitzpatrick, Anthony Schwartz, Nico Collins, Amari Rodgers, Diami Brown, Josh Palmer, Terrace Marshall, Tutu Atwell, Dwayne Eskridge, Rondale Moore.
Yeah,
It's nuts.
He should have never went day 3. I've been a big fan of this since the Devi days. Now his poor combine, because it was poor for what people were expecting from him, because he was very good, with USC, and we found out all three of their main receivers the past 3 years have been very good. Now, it's a miss, but if you're going off of numbers and you go off of off of historic trends, there was a little concern with him getting day 3, but at this point, I don't care what the trap capital was. The dude's a stud. He's a top 12 receiver in Dynasty, and you have to move on from that with that right now. Like there's nothing has changed that. then bringing it in, and then when Jameson Williams comes back healthy, it shouldn't change it at all. If St. Brown is this good, Williams may make him more efficient and better.
Potentially. And
should.
like I said, you've got 18 targets over the last 2 weeks that went to Josh Reynolds and DJ Chark there. You take 50% of that away to Williams, and he's efficient enough to make good with that without touching St. Brown's target load.
If you also look at those targets, too, those targets are also coming without St. Brown and Swift not on the field.
True.
Yeah. Hawk.
Yeah,
They're
Hawk
gonna-
freaking
they're
lighting it
gonna
up.
have-
Fucking Hawkinson, man.
They're going to have mouths
talked-
to feed, but you know what? Jared
I talked
Goff's been doing it.
Shit to him once.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about the whole Mountain feed. I mean, they're just throwing the ball all around the freaking field, so go for it.
Goff.
There's
Goff's
only,
in it.
but remember,
You
there's
have
only
the-
so many footballs.
Yes.
You have the number one scoring offense and the number 32 defense. It's like
And that is a
you're on the
recipe
opposite
for
end of the spectrum.
that has been a recipe for fantasy football success for a long time. Just ask the guy whose jersey's behind me.
Thank God they have a good offensive line.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
all
my
I gotta
God.
say. God, if guys start to get hurt, that offense will fucking tank. That is the key.
Nobody.
It's not far.
Yeah, nobody else really behind him either. Recap those names: Jalen Darden, Tylen Wallace, Jacob Harris, Amir Smith, Marset, Sumi Fehoko, who preseason darling for the Cowboys, I guess, for whatever that's worth. Cornell Powell, Frank Darby, Marquez Stevenson, Shai Smith, Racy McMath, special teamer.
Pal.
And I'm tired of reading names. Ben Skowronek? Skowronek?
The Rams wide receiver?
Yeah, he's not very good.
No.
All right, we're going to hit.
No one's really good in the Rams outside of
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp.
All right, we are going to hit tight end, and then we will keep removing elsewhere. So we're going to do tight end. We were going to do sophomores and juniors today, but with where we're at time-wise, we'll just do sophomores. We'll do the junior class next week. So let's just hit tight end, and, we'll do a year 3 check-in next week. Kyle Pitts.
Gross. What a
Man,
disappointment.
Twitter is on one with Pitts right now. Some of the deals I've seen, Ryan McDowell posted some of the latest Pitts trades, and people are fucking nervous. It's
And Drake
like,
London.
guys, a year 2 tight end, man. Just
with
Jesus
the
Christ.
guy that's not going to be the quarterback there long term. Do not sell. Just hold on for a minute.
Hold.
His target
fucking
volume
buy at this
is
point. My
way
God.
down because you have a rushing quarterback and you just added Drake London. After, just hold on a minute.
Arthur Smith game's
Breathe.
fucking this up too.
It'll be
Desmond
okay.
Ritter will not be starting in too many more. I can't even talk. I give up. Desmond Ritter will be starting soon. I feel like it's coming.
I mean, maybe they're 2-2 with Mariota.
Yeah, but Mariota's not doing anything with the ball.
Doesn't matter if they're winning football games.
God,
he's
just
not as efficient.
Winning's king in the NFL, man. Quarterbacks don't get
Yeah.
bitched for being 500.
I will say this: his opportunity for Pitts so far, it's been outside of the red zone work.
It's been fine.
He's top 5 in target. He's top 5 in target rate. He's not top 5 in targets. He's top 5 in target share, target rate. He's top 3 in air yard share, ADOT, deep targets. Look, it's coming.
He already had one game.
It may not be this year, but for fuck's sake, it's still Atlanta's offense. Like
He had one okay game. He's not
yeah,
been touchdown efficient yet in his career. So
yeah.
he's got one touchdown through his first 21 games.
So
It's
he's
not-
going the
it's a
Jacoby Myers route. He wants
It's a great
he wants
highlight
to-
reel.
Sure, this is just your Jacoby
When he
Myers
scores,
tight
when he
end.
scores, it's gonna be
He's
massive.
also been
It's gonna be-
25 yards or less 3 games this year, despite all that. What's his catchable target rate? Is it Mariota or is it him?
His catchable target rate's 59. His target rate
Seems not great.
yeah, no, it's 36 in the league. Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
Well, that's on the quarterback.
I'm
That's,
saying.
not on Pitts.
Target
but-
quality
yeah.
ratings 25th. So
But
You
it's
can't be saying
definitely-
but he's a 500 quarterback. He's 2-2.
he's a 500 quarterback. He's 2-2, and I'm not saying that makes him good. I'm saying that means that they won't bench him until they lose a couple. Tampa, San Francisco, Cincinnati, you could see it after the next 3 to 4 weeks. It just ain't happening like next week. And if they win any of those, it ain't happening for a little bit because winning's king. Fantasy football, we want that to happen because we know Mariota's not efficient. But what's to say Ritter's going to be more efficient? And as long as the team is in and winning games, they're not going to make the switch.
Yeah, but wasn't Mariota benched for Ryan Tannehill? And then the Tennessee Titans were doing good at the same time.
I thought he got hurt.
No, Mariota was.
Was it hurt?
I think he got hurt. Yeah.
It's also NFC South. It's not like the Bucks are playing
because
like,
it was
they look good for what, one game this year?
Yeah, it was he got hurt. It was a mid-season trade for Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, all right. My bad. I apologize.
Rare mid-season quarterback trade.
Yeah.
So you got to be turning the ball over too to really get. Now
that's not Mariota.
Except for he's not 1-to-1 right now. No, he's 1-to-1 right now. TD to interception rate, he is. But
he did one touchdown, one pick.
No, you reduce your fractions, idiot. No,
I know.
It's a little more than that.
I'm making a joke of the Atlanta offense. That's a joke.
I got it, Dan. I got it.
Thank you.
You got to do fucking math lessons on this goddamn
I'm
show.
sorry that I have to explain it to you. All right, so Pat Freiermuth.
Freiermuth's actually been decent. As much as I hate
the one bright spot in Pittsburgh's offense.
Yeah,
a bright spot. Yeah, no.
And the rise of Pickens is coming. So.
Yeah, he's had 3 very, very startable weeks. The one was just, for tight end wise, is okay. He had the touchdown in week 2. He's been over 75 yards the other 2 weeks, and look, Pickens is on his way. I just put in a waiver claim for him and won it, and I feel great about that.
Hell yeah.
We got Kenny Pickett coming in. We're going to hopefully see a little bit more cohesive offense. So
he's got 2 rushing touchdowns so far this year already.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's on the up and up. He's got 2 picks, but who cares about that? He's got 2 rushing touchdowns.
Pickett? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the Steelers are 1-3, and that's how you get benched. Not 2-2, 1-3.
That and they should have not won. They should be 0-4.
They should be 0-4. Yeah.
Man.
I'm hoping for Mariota bench now. I'm just holding steady with it.
We all are.
I think it's going to happen at some point. It's just not. You got 3 or 4 more weeks before you get there.
I don't want to wait that much longer. I want Ritter out there.
I think that.
I just want them to get a new quarterback that's not either Mariota or Ritter.
I like Ritter. I'm actually a Ritter fan.
I don't really. Meh.
All right,
oh wow! All right, I'm making these.
Here we go again.
Right, so hold on. Are you good from a talking perspective? Because I know when I had it fucked me up to talk for long periods of time.
I will make these quick. I'll make my portions quick.
Okay.
I'll be doing what I've been doing this show and not trying to talk long.
All right, and we got a London game, another fucking London game.
Gross.
Yeah, everything fucking sucks. All right, Thursday. Tomorrow, Colts versus Broncos. Broncos are at home, 3.5-point favorites, 42.5 game total. I think Denver's offense kind of found something this past week without Javonte Williams. So hopefully the passing offense can take a step forward. I like Denver, and I don't care about the game total.
Jerry Jeudy got himself back in the good graces of the fantasy community, 53 yards and a touchdown. So, he's got a solid matchup against the Colts. I think that you can flex him in if you need to. There are some uncertainties around the wide receiver position right now. Godwin limited with knee injuries. Keenan Allen still missing time. So there definitely are some scenarios where you may need to play a Jerry Jeudy, and I think that you can. He does have flex value if you're making that debate. Cortland Sutton continues to be the must start though in this receiving game. He's had over 50 yards every game and a touchdown. The target volume has also been there, 7 or more in every game. So Cortland Sutton's the must start. Melvin Gordon's the running back that you want to trust this week just to go with it. He should be flex or better. So, and should get the majority of the work with his familiarity in the offense and his ability as a pass catcher. So he'll be plugged right in and play. For the Colts, tough matchup. Don't do anything other than Michael Pittman and Nyheim Hines is with Jonathan Taylor out.
Yeah, totally agree with that, especially in the DraftKings on that. Go with Nyheim Hines at 5,500. And then on the Broncos side, I wouldn't mind going back to Russell Wilson at 6,500 still. Melvin Gordon at 61, Sutton at 63, Judy at 56. And outside of that, I want no one else.
Well, this is a single game showdown, so.
But you can do single game showdown, but you can also do they have a Thursday through Monday
Oh.
that you can do.
I'm way too impatient for that.
Yeah, no, that's how I got the price pulled up. But yeah, I mean, if people have any questions, they can hit me up on Twitter. I can help them with that. I'll probably have a screenshot of one that I'm gonna do tomorrow afternoon.
You're right. Giants at Packers in London.
In London.
Packers are at London. Packers are 7.5-point favorites. Game total is 40.5. I still don't understand how these Green Bay teams continue to get more than touchdown spreads. This team is just not built to score that many points. They're also not built to be, explosive despite their big play numbers. So take the Giants plus 7.5. And I do like the over in this game, even if it's in London. I do like the over. I think the Giants offense has improved enough to be able to keep up with this, whether or not the defense can make enough stops. Giants 7.5 and the over.
Yeah. Alan Lazard came back kind of in a big way. 8 targets last week, 116 yards. Romeo Doubs got his second straight touchdown. Giants have been playing teams closely. It just like New England played the Packers closely. And what that tells you is that those two guys can be trusted with some flex value. 8 targets isn't going to beat the world, but when you're going for 100 yards and or catching a touchdown, with both have the liability to do, you're easily in a position where you can start either guy in 3 wide receiver leagues. Same can be said for Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. They split the carries pretty evenly. See this being a very, very similar game script to what Green Bay was in last week. Again, the Giants will play teams close, and I do think they want to run first, which puts both Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon into flex consideration as well. But Doubs, back-to-back weeks with 8 targets. I think he is priority over Lazard, who's been lagging behind just a touch in target volume, although both are good. On the Giants side of this, don't trust anything wide receiver-wise. I completely bombed the Richie James call last week. And
it happens.
They're all banged up. You don't know who's going to be healthy, who's going to play. Looks like Kadarius Toney will be back, but he was in the doghouse. Wan'Dale Robinson should be back. One good season, whatever. The only Giant I want is Saquon Barkley. They're going to find a way to do something, which is why I trust the Packers side of this game. I just don't know who or how, and there's no clear indicators on that either with the new coaching staff. So the only thing you want is Barkley there.
Yeah, plus it's hard to understand who's the New York Giants quarterback right now. Because there's the Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, God, that's right.
And
but
Daniel
still,
Jones is,
it's the same question we had last week.
So it's like, if I'm doing anything DFS-wise, I'm going Saquon Barkley at 7,900.
He had to come back in. I'd imagine it's him if he was able to come back in, but
he came back in.
Yeah, like he didn't take any snaps, so he played out wide every play. Yeah,
it was Wildcat
every play. He was a decoy because they lost their backup quarterback too.
And they have.
I'm waiting for Eli Manning to announce his comeback.
Davis Webb has been there and is still on their practice squad.
So
he's still in New York.
He hasn't been elevated yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. So they're probably waiting to see what Daniel Jones is.
The running backs,
their backup is.
I like Aaron Jones this week still. I'm also liking A.J. Dillon, even though he hasn't really turned out to be the running back that we're hoping to as an RB2. I still think we're waiting for that one breakout run that he gets and make some points worth it. So at 5,800, that's not a bad deal. Like Hopper said, Lazard, Dobbs are definite must starts. But I also like putting in Christian Watson as another sneaky start. He also had a very good game, considering he was third on the list. And then also, since New York also struggles against the tight end position, go for Robert Tonyan at 3,400.
Yeah, Watson picked up the rushing touchdown. No volume there for him yet at the moment, though. That was my pause with him. He got the rushing touchdown, but he did it on 1 carry and 3 targets. Which
I'm not playing.
There's upside there. It scares me because of volume.
I get in DFS. This is probably
trying to differentiate
showdown slate. Yeah, this is still the showdown slate. I don't think the London game's a part of the main slate.
No, the main slate's on the noon and 3 o'clock, noon, 4 o'clock.
Yeah. All right, let's actually get to the main slate. Seattle at New Orleans. Saints are 5.5-point favorites at home. 45.5 is the game total. I'm not betting this game. That's it. That's it.
The trap.
Yeah, it's nope. Hopper, you can go with your fans.
Geno Smith is riding a little bit of a hot streak, if you will, but the Saints are not exactly giving up a boatload in the passing game either. So, I don't know that you can trust that stream this week, I think is what I'm getting at there. No 30-point games allowed here. So yeah, still looking at the Seahawks. Rashad Penny coming off of a giant game. The Vikings tend to have a good rushing game, though. We're completely held in check, as was Tampa Bay, on the ground. So I not necessarily loving Rashad Penny either, and he was working off to the side in practice in a limited capacity. So, you're pretty much looking floor for Seattle. Lockett and Metcalf had been good the last couple weeks, but this is a game that could be contested a little bit tighter, and I don't think you're going to get those blow-up performances in this one. On the Saints side of it, Jameis Winston I think he's still not practicing.
No, he's not.
So you have some concern there. Michael Thomas was practicing, though. And this game just feels ugly, and it feels a little bit like an avoid unless your name is Chris Olave right now. We'll see what Michael Thomas does, if he plays, et cetera, et cetera. Olave has been the best thing that they've got going. Kamara returned to practice as well. I think you can generally trust that. But the Seahawks side of the ball gives me some pause. New Orleans does have a decent defense, and I don't think that Seattle's going to be able to hang quite as tough with quite the performances they had last week against Detroit.
All right, for Seattle, I'm all over Geno Smith, even though you guys might not be because the Konami code that he has. I mean, just the way he's been playing. He has the highest completion percentage out of anyone in the NFL through the first 4 games with 77.3. And he's already had back-to-back 300 games, which is also a bonus. And Kirk Cousins just put up 260 yards against this New Orleans Saints team. So I actually think Geno Smith can do it, and I'd actually pair him up with Tyler Lockett at 5,600, just because he was one of the top lead route runners with the team, and he's still cheaper than DK Metcalf, who comes in at 6,800. So you're looking at a nice, solid wide receiver 2 at a wide receiver 3 value.
Is there any update on Metcalf on his medicals?
He had to poop.
He had to poop.
Oh,
yeah,
it was never hurt.
I didn't know why.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
he was carted off because he had to poop.
And
it's a really
I didn't know that.
A really long walk to the visitor locker room apparently, and that clinch was not going to work. So he was not hurt.
That
he just had to
hilarious.
shit. He just had to shit. That was all it was.
I would bet higher on Metcalf even at that price. The dude, like if this Seattle offense is taking off, and Metcalf's been a big part of it.
I want to talk.
Yeah, but I don't know about Lattimore though. That's what makes me nervous with him.
Lattimore sucks. He's been terrible this year.
Lately.
He's only good against Mike Evans because he fucking hates him. That's about it.
So
he's always hit and miss.
I want to pull it back to Geno Smith here for a minute, though, as a start, because it's really been a tale of 2 quarterbacks, right? You mentioned the Konami code upside. He's had 1 good game as a rusher, and it was last week against Detroit in an absolute blowout. The 2 weeks before that, he had a total of 1 yard on the ground and a total of 15 on the season before last week.
He's not a rusher.
He will scramble.
You can look at that.
But 7 for 49 and 1 last week is good, but the week before was 2 for -1. The week before was 2 for 2. The week before was 6 for 14. And while he did have the two, can't take that away from him. I mean, he did have the two 320-plus yard games, multi-touchdown performances, 3 last week against Detroit and Atlanta. Against much better defenses in San Francisco and Denver, he was under 200 yards. So I think it's a true ebbs and flows with the defenses that he's playing. And I'm taking a break for the Saints, and I'm coming back against the Cardinals and the Chargers. Is where
That's
I'm at
fine.
with him.
I
You
still
don't
play him
wanna-
just because I think it's gonna be low ownership.
Well, I mean, for
People think-
DFS,
He
it's
will
a
be.
different
He
story.
will be
Yeah,
low
obviously,
ownership,
yes.
And he's got a good floor for that low ownership.
It's also not a game. If you're not going a big entry, it's just not a game that you're attacking. It's not.
It's
The Saints is not the Lions. Then the Lions,
what was the
like,
points on that one?
it's 50, 40, 45.5.
That's probably
That's
one of the
probably
lowest.
about right, but
No,
that's yeah.
it's about middle of the road for most of these games. I mean, it could happen, right? No one saw the Lions and Seahawks going for, was it 90 points?
Right.
You
Yeah.
did not see him go for 90 fucking point. Put your hand
not
down.
for 90, but I definitely would have taken the over. I'm taking the over in any game.
That's
the
a
Lions
different-
are in.
Every Lions game
That's
now.
a different story. Yeah. I think the over under last week was like
It's
48
48 and a half.
It was 48.5 last week for
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought it was lower. Anyways.
Next,
Pittsburgh Buff. Yeah. Like this fucking spread. Pittsburgh Buffalo.
Oof.
Buffalo is 14-point favorites. 46.5 is the game total. I'm not betting the spread. Double-digit point spreads, especially with the new quarterback starting. It's not so much that it's a trap. It's just Buffalo could get up by 4 touchdowns and then just fucking coast to a victory, and Pittsburgh gets two, gets a couple garbage time touchdowns, and the game is either split half or they end up not covering. I'm taking the under on this, so I don't think Pittsburgh's going to score enough points. And if Buffalo gets up, big early, this game could be 41-0 or some shit like that. So under, and that's it.
Let me find the Bills current injury report. Hold on. Let's see. Christian Binford still out. Cam Lewis still out. Isaiah McKenzie did not practice. Von Miller, rest day. Trying to look at, let's see, Jordan Poyers, it did not practice. Micah Hyde is done for the season. So it looks like they've got other people, though, that are healthy. I'm trying to just, okay.
I get you.
The cornerbacks are back. Safeties are still hurt. And Buffalo's secondary had been banged up. That's what I was looking at from a Pittsburgh perspective for those keeping track at home. And that's something you're going to want to keep an eye on, too, is that the Bills' secondary has been banged up. That being said, they're not. That being said, I don't know that Buffalo's going to have to go out and score a boatload of points in this one against Pittsburgh. I'm watching, not chasing George Pickens this week with Kenny Pickett starting. You're okay with the Deontay Johnson floor. Go with that. If you need a YOLO start, I'm fine with Pickens because of what he did last week. Najee Harris is going to have tough sledding again. I don't know how you sit him with the current running back situation. You've got DeAndre Swift likely to not play. Javonte Williams hurt. But, you may have better options for him in this matchup or than him in this matchup. So he's not a must start for me this week. Najee Harris isn't. On the Bills side, you got burned by Gabe Davis a little bit last week. They're going to be a little short on receiving options with Isaiah McKenzie still in concussion protocol. So watch that as the week goes. But obviously Diggs, very, very much Devin Singletary right now, especially with the way that this game script is probably going to lean. Dawson Knox has been a little iffy as of late. So, Bills side, really only must-starts are Diggs and Singletary. You could get a little depth if McKenzie plays because it is a good matchup for the Bills. Just game script, I don't think, is going to tilt in their favor. McKenzie doesn't play. You can even look in deeper leagues to a guy like Khalil Shakir as a YOLO start with Jamison Crowder having a broken ankle.
Love it.
Yeah,
Brian?
I love Buffalo this week. Get Josh Allen 8,200, Devin Singletary 6,100, Stephon Diggs 8,400. I mean, you're going to pay up, so you might as well pay up for that stack and get it because I feel like they're just going to go out there and light up Pittsburgh. And I'm even willing to sprinkle in Gabe Davis back in there at 6,400. Sure, he had the down game of one catch for 13 yards. Well, you're shaking your head, Dan,
Why would you? Why?
because
Gabe Davis he's got one broken play
Okay.
touchdown. I would not. I would.
well, he might get two.
I
this
don't
time.
mean to get all aggressive about
No.
it.
Yeah, he's had
No.
2 down games though. It's not just the one. He's had 2 down games and a hurt game, right? He hasn't had a good game since week 1. But hold on, Ryan, I'm coming to your side. When Isaiah McKenzie doesn't make it out of concussion protocol, I don't know how you don't, because the Bills are consistently supporting 2 receivers.
I wouldn't be too heavily invested in Buffalo in DFS.
I would.
Not at their prices and not against
Not,
Pittsburgh.
not at this game.
They're still a great offense, but Pittsburgh's not going to do anything to make them like. Yes, they could score 4 touchdowns in the first half and then do nothing because it's fucking Pittsburgh.
Hey,
Like,
and if Gabe Davis gets 2
your
of
betting-
those and 97 yards in the first half, I am on totally on
Yeah.
board.
Plus, Pittsburgh to be out down 2 safeties and one of their cornerbacks.
It's not
But
because
it's-
the issue isn't that Pittsburgh has a good defense. The issue is that Buffalo
They're not
gets
gonna
up
push
big
the
and they don't
offense
have to
enough.
push the
Yeah.
offense.
It's one of those. It's yes, they got to score points to get to that point, but I mean, you have a rookie quarterback back in making his first ever start. You got good defense, especially a great pass rush. It's at those prices. It's me personally, Ryan. If you want to, by all
Yeah.
means, bud. I do not
So
want to spend up on those prices. On that. Besides, the Singletary is the only one that I really want to play from that game.
and even then,
'Cause he's still relatively cheap.
and even then, their last blowout, he didn't have a whole lot. The only one that did was Diggs, and that was the 41-7 against Tennessee. But that was a product of Ryan Tannehill turning the ball over, not so much the offense. But I mean, there was nobody other than Stephon Diggs that you wanted or I guess maybe James Cook, but you weren't guessing at that. There's
No.
nobody other than Stephon Diggs that you wanted in their last lopsided game.
I'm gonna
Now-
have some. I would have some ownership to it now. Excuse me. I would have some. Some
Shares,
ties to the game
yeah.
in my. While I'm making my lineups, but it's not something that I'm just heavily trying to be exposed to.
Oh yeah, you're not like trying to build your lineup around that. Like you're not setting that lineup and going, all right, what can I piece around this to make it work and hit my total?
And the Rams game was also lopsided. That's where Davis had the breakaway touchdown of 47 yards. Otherwise, that would have been pretty bad too.
I mean, he's been who he's been since his rookie year.
I'm okay with that.
And the fact that he's 6,400 is shocking to me.
Yeah.
And God, I
It's a
wish
name.
he should be. I mean, but
He's
it's,
close to that. He's close to that value.
It's fucking Buffalo. I mean, but he's not though.
But
he said
on the
eight-
other
he
side,
Sorry.
on the other side of
Sorry.
the ball, you could go George Pickens as a cheap throw-in at 4,300, right?
He's your comeback play. God, he's
Yeah.
4,300.
Yeah. To go with Kenny Pickett on that, he got what 6 of his 8 targets from Kenny Pickett once he got in. So it's like I just feel like that chemistry they already had as being the second stringers in the off season, throwing they were building that chemistry already. So I feel like that could carry over into this game. You're not going to start him in any leagues. If you do, then I'm sorry.
I would start picking. I don't have any issues
I
with
don't-
Pickens.
I don't know. I
Someone's
struggle
got to
with it.
get targets when they're down 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
and
Well,
they're
it could be
playing
Deontay
soft
Johnson.
defense.
It's not Chase Claypool. He's
Just
trash.
said it was Pickens. He got all the targets from.
Yeah. But,
All
I mean,
right.
I'd be nervous playing him in fantasy.
We have talked too much. All right. Ryan, you got anything? Any other
Nope, we'll move on.
or any other DFS?
Keep going.
All right, Bears, Vikings. Vikings are 7-point
Keep going.
favorites. 44. Even is the game total. I don't like the Vikings being favored by more than a touchdown. It is the Bears.
Total
but-
fucking trash.
I know, but God, the Saints are not that good.
On
Barely
offense,
beat
somehow the
them.
Bears' defense is overperforming.
That's what I'm saying. And the offense in Minnesota has been very, very wish-washy, especially Cousins, especially when there's any sort of pass rush. I like the Bears +7. I'm
Ah.
staying away from the game total because I don't. The Vikings offense or their defense is hot trash, but the Bears have shown very little life to this passing game, and that's the only way that they're going to keep in this. Khalil Herbert could have a career day though. Again,
That's what I was
But,
gonna say. Khalil Herbert and fire the rest.
Bears +7. That's it.
Khalil Herbert and fire the rest of this shit into the sun for the Bears. I want nothing else.
Hey, at least Mooney
Mooney
got targeted.
Mooney
Yeah,
caught a
that was
bomb.
one good game.
He got
There is
targeted-
some big play.
He got
There's some big
targeted
play potential.
5 times, caught 4 for 94 yards. Not
There's so and
big
he had,
play potential to Darnell Mooney if you need a YOLO start. But for me, it's Khalil Herbert and fire the rest of the shit into the sun until they figure out if they can do something.
I agree.
The Vikings are chalk.
Are you more confident in Thielen after
I-
another?
I am more confident in Thielen after the
decent
last couple
performance.
weeks of being a very solid wide receiver too. Yes.
Ryan.
Yeah, their cost in
DFS.
DFS is going up. Thielen's up to 6,300 already, so that value is already kind of fading away. Justin Jefferson comes in at one, the highest at 8,900. So, do you really want to take the chance of starting him? But, he's
I mean,
Yeah.
he's elite.
He was
or
productive
nothing.
last week, that's for sure.
Yeah,
And
but the last 2 weeks prior to that, though, he was kind of like garbage
yeah,
for what you were getting out of value wise.
it's the Bears.
And he also should have scored even more points past week.
The Bears.
If Cousins wasn't so fucking terrible. at
Your
times.
rundown on the Bears is they had a monsoon game, and then they got dog walked by the Packers, and then they played Houston and the Giants.
That's the Bears.
It's bad.
Yeah,
And they're somehow 2-2.
Because they got a weak ass schedule.
I know.
They could still be 500 3 weeks from now.
God, that's the worst for them
Because they
too.
got Minnesota, Washington, and New England the next 3 games. They could win 2 of those.
Yeah, they can win Sunday. I mean, it's
That's what I'm
not in
saying.
Chicago. So
They could win 2 of
yeah.
those. They could damn sure win one of them.
Yeah. Any other DFS plays, Ryan?
Nope, just the obvious.
No Justin Fields.
Dude, I don't know.
You
Makes me
can
too
say-
nervous.
you
I
can
got to
say
see
no.
more of it. Yeah,
See,
I'm not ready.
No,
yet.
I need to see less of whatever it's been, and I need to see more of something else.
Yeah. Exactly.
You need to see
Exactly.
more downfield work. Fuck. Especially
the
like,
frickin'
this
ball.
is the game to let him fucking do something.
Because Houston wasn't, and
I know. I know.
It's like I
know.
don't understand why they're holding them back.
I don't know. All right.
because
Houston-
he threw 2 interceptions when they tried to not do it.
Texans at Jaguars. Jaguars 7-point favorites at home at 43.5.
Pump them
Oh, they
Jags into
finally
my
get-
veins.
They're
Oh,
they're
yeah.
finally over a touchdown favorites. It is Houston. I don't trust Jacksonville enough to cover. They're gonna win this game. I don't trust them enough to cover. Houston +7, and I'm taking the over. Jacksonville's defense can be good at times. Houston, for some reason, just finds ways to just score.
You give me
Kind of.
all of that Damian Pierce. Give me all that Damian Pierce.
He doesn't need all the touches, but man, he can be only needs one apparently. Apparently.
Apparently.
You give me all that Damian Pierce. You give me them chalk Jacksonville Jaguars. That includes Zay Jones, who's actually been pretty decent. Maybe not so much of an Ingram. Been tailing off, but
What about ETN?
Zay Jones is
It's
not been
ETN in
bad.
chalk?
ETN is not in chalk. ETN is in.
Is he in timeout?
Oh yeah, he's definitely in timeout, especially in this one. They're not. I mean, I think the problem here is that Zay Jones has been hyper efficient, and Christian Kirk has been really, really good, and James Robinson's been so good running the football that the one game that they've had to throw a bunch in. Well, I guess 2. There were 2. Washington and was another one, and Etienne was just okay. It's game script, really. I think Etienne's best game was against Washington, where it was shootout, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it won't look like a shootout. It was Jacksonville playing from behind pretty much the whole game.
Yeah,
It was just it wasn't
they ended up
it wasn't
losing.
high scoring. It was just But they came back. They took the
He
lead.
still only had 4
Washington.
targets. Yeah, it's not ETN.
Yeah.
No ETN.
Yeah.
Game script isn't gonna point that direction for me. So it's really the 2 receivers. It's Zay Jones and Christian Kirk and James Robinson, and then Lawrence you can flex
Obviously, yeah.
against Houston.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all over Lawrence this week.
Or not
5,600.
flex, stream. Sorry.
Stream him.
5,600.
Yeah. James
Wow.
Robinson's at 6,300, but ETN's at 5,100. I'm willing to sprinkle a little bit ETN in a lineup or two just to see.
That's. I mean, I think
that
having
dollar
a
value's
couple.
going down.
I think having a couple just because he's gonna have low owners. He's gonna have low.
Yeah.
I gotta hate the fact you guys say ownership in DFS.
Because he was at mid 5,500s. Now he's almost about to drop under 5,000. So it's like, I'm willing to start playing him at
Well,
that kind of cost.
there's a reason why he's going that cheap too.
Yeah, he's not performing.
Yeah.
But eventually that performing game is going to return
He-
a hell of a
he's-
value back
He's gonna
to you.
take that blue pill and he's gonna finally hit him.
Yeah. And then Christian Kirk at 6,600. I feel comfortable with playing him just because of the amount of targets he
Whoa.
gets.
It's so good.
It's just like, oh my God. It's like, would you rather have him or Justin Jefferson? Give me Christian Kirk at that price.
I want them both.
Well, you probably could actually put them both and then build
I
around that.
mean,
You got the
you
cost.
absolutely could.
And like
All right.
Hopper said, Zay Jones coming back, 4,100. Still not a bad deal.
41.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep.
All right. Dolphins at the Jets. Dolphins 3-point favorites on the road. No Tua. 45.5 is the game total. I like the Dolphins still. It's on the road backup QB, but Tua isn't just a normal backup QB. He's got a lot of starting experience. The game total is what worries me. I take the under. I can see this Miami offense being a little more slow paced, methodical with their, with their play calling more so because Bridgewater isn't Tua, so you're not going to get, those bigger plays with them. And we just don't know what the Jets are right now with Zach Wilson. Little more than one game to kind of, make that determination. So I'll take Miami in the points, or I'll take Miami in giving 3 points, and I'll take the under at 45.5.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm
Hello?
Making for great radio. I love
No.
I was
Oh,
like,
It's a
Is that-
hopper
it
pause.
feels ugly.
It does. It does.
feels ugly without Tua. I think
I agree with
I
that.
like Waddle a bit more than even Hill this week. I don't know how you sit either of them, but man, it feels ugly. Expect 4 games from both of them is what my official call is going to be, and expect maybe a little bit more out of the running game here with Edmonds and Mostert on the Dolphins side.
That's something to talk about too, because I think we might be seeing a change of the guard.
oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
I will hit that up. In
I hate
DFS.
to, I hate to admit it because I love Chase Edmonds, but this is not a game where you're going to see. You may not see a lot of Chase Edmonds.
No, I think you are going to see a good amount of Raheem Mostert in this one, and you're going to see they're going to get their Hill and Waddle are going to get their shots, but I think you're going to get 4 games from both of them, and I think most of this is going to be Raheem Mostert. For the Jets, we talked about it earlier how it's pretty spread out. Breece Hall's just a little dinged up. No concern with him playing this week. You're absolutely running that out there on the Jets side. I think Corey Davis is still the right receiver that I'm going to do a little checking up myself here. 4, 5, and
Yeah.
7 targets the last couple weeks, 2 touchdowns over the last 3. So why are there so many people named Garrett? And yeah, Garrett Wilson, 6 targets, 2 receptions, 41 yards as they work to build chemistry there. Couldn't be high scoring. Corey Davis is probably the guy that I'm going to trust the most out of that Jets receiving core. You can throw Moore and Wilson out there. Again, this just feels like a lot of floor plays to me, though. There's not anybody in this game that I look at and say, I love them other than Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, and it's one of Tua or no, I'm sorry,
It's
one of Hill or
Waddle,
Waddle.
but
It's
you
not
don't
going to
know
be
who.
both, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't. I think they'll be fine, but
I think they'll
one
be
will have their blow up and the other one
I think they'll
will
be
have their blow up and the other one will kind of just be quiet.
It's just like I expect Davis, Moore, and Wilson to not give you zeros. It's just I think Davis has, given touchdown upside. The bigger bodied guy, give me the guy with a little bit of rapport with the starter right now that's got a better chance at grabbing one.
And then for DFS, it's like look at the cost of Raheem Mostert, 5,000 right now. And Chase Edmonds at 5,200. I go Mostert on that one because last week in week 4 he got 73% of the snaps compared to Chase Edmonds 28%. Plus he also out touched him 17-7. Mostert to Edmonds. Only thing Edmonds had for him last week was a touchdown. So give me Mostert in that volume. I feel like this could be his game. The wide receivers, you guys already said they're kind of pricey. You got Hill at 8,000, Waddle at 6,700. But then going the other side of the ball, give me Breece Hall, 5,400. He did not change value at all. He's the same cost as he was last week. The breakout is here. I'm all over it, dude. I'm smashing it. He saw a season high in snaps last week with 66%. Rush attempts was at 65, and his route participation was at 61. Plus, he also saw 17 carries to Carter's 9. So the transitions were already happening. And then another thing too is he didn't lose a target share. Like his targets went down, but Zach Wilson still targeted him 6 times. So he's definitely going to catch the ball. So at RB3 cost, you got to definitely smash on that one.
Love it. All right. And Falcons at the Bucks. Bucks are 9-point favorites at home. A 48.5 is the game total. Look, I guess post hiring of your divorce lawyer Brady is what it took for him to help find this offense as they continue to get healthier. It's pretty much probably what it's been. They got Mike Evans back, Julio back, Godwin back. The only above touchdown spread I'm probably more confident in. I'll take the Bucks at 9 at home. The defense has been up. They've been good. Atlanta for some reason just kind of just knows how to score against Tampa Bay. So I'll fire the over here. But I'll take Tampa Bay in the points.
Yeah, start your Bucks is pretty much where I'm at. Your Fournette, your Brady's, your Godwin, your Evans. Absolutely do that. You could even make maybe a slight case for Cameron Brady here, but either way, it's a good defensive matchup, and the Falcons, haven't been totally inept on the offensive side of the football either. Drake London's been fine. Kyle Pitts has been fine. I don't think you pull off of either of those. Mariota gives you some floor, but I think he's just outside of streamer status for me this week. But I think that you're good with London and Pitts on the Falcons side, and potentially even Cordero Patterson. Although the Bucs do have a decent defense, so I don't love that. And never feels good to recommend Cordero Patterson, even though he has the ability to blow up some weeks.
Patterson's on IR. He's out for 4 weeks.
Oh, is he out for 4 weeks?
Yeah.
There you go.
So it's Tyler Algier right now.
Yeah. You need to see that one first.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Patterson went to IR. I knew it was banged up, but I didn't know he went to IR.
Yep, he just went on the other day.
He did.
So that's what I get for not reading all the way back in Roto World because I had to give the kid a bath. So anyway, then steer clear of the Falcons running game. It's just Pitts in London for the Falcons. It's everyone for the Bucs.
Yep,
DFS.
I love it.
Yep.
Oh, Tom Brady, man, $6,000 right now.
Finally
6? Broke. Yeah, he's 6,000.
Oh, yes, that's got chalk written all over it,
right?
Man. Oh my God, he's gonna have a very very high.
Oh yeah, the divorce papers are signed. He's back. He's back in it. He's back in the game. He's gonna be on a hot streak. After
he
that,
is now pissed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I mean, I would definitely start him because he's easily got 3 to 4 times value of that. He can easily put him another 30 burger.
They
he put up 29.
They just got the lawyers. The papers aren't signed yet. Just the lawyers. They're discussing their options. End quote. Because you hire divorce lawyers to figure out what your options are, not because you've already decided on the option.
And then I'm going at Kyle Pitts at 4,400 still. He's dropping.
This feels like a Kyle Pitts week because of how much Twitter's fucking turned on him. It feels like this is like like me for Hawkinson this past week. It's gonna be Pitts this week now.
I mean, just guess what his average points have been since this season so far. A game. What his average points are?
Who Pitts?
Yeah.
Well,
if you
bad.
take out,
It's gotta
if
be
you take out
under.
his bad, take out his good game and just leave his bad games in there.
He's had a
Just
good
'cause-
game.
So yeah, he
Don't
had,
take out any games.
he had one game,
Uh,
but even if you don't take out his games, it's got to be around 6 or 7 points PPR. I mean,
No, it's
and
less
that's
than
lifting
4.
it
No,
up.
it's
Is it?
3.76. That's what it
Jesus.
still is.
In his good game, I mean,
His good game was still only around 10 in PPR.
it was
Yeah.
13.7 in full point. It still died. I mean, it's
How do you
again, he needs
average it-
touchdown.
How do you average at 3.7 in PPR when you have one at 13.7?
Because you go under 4 points in the other 3 games.
Yeah.
3.9, 3.9, 4.7, and 3.
I'm going based off DK.
I'm just looking at his player profiler, which is full point. So either way,
I mean,
Anyways.
Travis Kelsey went off on Sunday night. Pitts is going to go off. You know,
That means-
it's his turn now.
it just makes sense.
It's
Yeah,
that's just how it
flows.
6.55 in full PPR is his average. You remember this? I keep calculators on my desk.
He's not counting the
I'm not counting the
13
good
point
game.
game.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
just
That's
throwing,
what he
we're
said.
just throwing games out.
That was
Yeah.
what I said.
Hey,
He's-
if you throw
he's-
out those 3 bad games, he's averaging 13.7.
Yeah. Elite. All right. Detroit at New England. New England, 3.5 point favorites. Shocking. 45.5 is the over under. They're on
Detroit's
their
winning
third
this
string.
game.
They're on their third string quarterback, and Detroit still can't get a favorite
Detroit's winning this
in
game.
New England. Detroit should win this game, so Detroit money line feels right. I say take the over, but I don't know if Detroit's defense is gonna make. I mean, they were all shocked by Bailey Zappi. Is it gonna happen again? With the
He just
full
handed
weeks
off the
of
ball.
practice?
No, he didn't just
you're
hand out the
taking the
ball. He
over.
had 100 yards passing.
I need a PPH, point per handoff.
You're taking Detroit and the over.
Yeah.
Detroit and the over.
Now
that's
I
what you're
will
doing.
say that I'm all in on. So first off, Mac Jones has a chance to play, and that's going to change what you do with the Patriots. He returned to
Shocking.
practice today. He could be back quicker than expected. If that's the case, then you're going Jacoby Myers, Nelson Aguilar, and the 2 running back, and potentially even a Mac Jones stream. He's not mobile, so as long as he can push off the ankle, he's fine. The flip side of this is if it's Bailey Zappi, then maybe you just go the running backs. Detroit side of the ball, tune in on Sunday because nobody's practicing right now.
Yeah.
Literally
no
nobody.
one's-
Literally no
they're
one.
just-
Josh
they're just
Reynolds,
off.
DJ Chark, Amon-Ra St. Brown, TJ Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift. None of them are fucking practicing right now. Tune
They
in
all got
Sunday.
cues.
Tune in Sunday on this game, actually, because without knowing, the only thing I can say for sure, Damian Harris or Mondre Stevenson. Other than that, it's Swift. Swift ain't going. They've said
Jamal
since-
Williams.
It's Jamal Williams, yeah. Swift ain't going. So you're fine, Jamal Williams. For the wide receivers, you're going to have to tune in on Sunday because we have no idea who's going to be healthy for the Lions or who's going to quarterback the Patriots right now.
Yeah. DFS, I'm the same way. Give me the running backs on both sides. Williams, Stevenson, Harris.
Yep. And tune in Sunday for updates.
So for the rest of this, yeah.
Tennessee at Washington. Tennessee 2.5 point favorites on the road, 42.5. If there isn't 2 teams I don't fucking care about, it's these 2. I don't care. Like, this game means nothing to me.
Thank God
That's
we
my
got bye
response.
weeks that start next week.
Because this game sucks.
This game's gross.
It's got puke written all over it.
It's got just Derrick Henry written all over it.
Sure.
It's
I
got
mean, you're right.
it's
kind
got
of,
Derrick
yeah.
Henry written all over it. Yeah, I think you can go with Gibson and Chris Samuel still getting targeted a boatload.
This is how much we care about Washington and
Yeah,
Tennessee.
he's still
We
getting
just
targeted a foot, and he's
don't
doing
fucking care.
nothing winning.
Jahan Dotson is out.
Jahan Dotson only catches
Aw.
touchdowns. He doesn't catch anything else, just touchdowns.
Jamie Brown is nothing.
Nope. Terry McLaurin is up and down, and you have to. I don't know. I don't think this pace gets pushed. It's Antonio Gibson and Derrick Henry and nothing else.
Terry McLaurin
Robert
went from-
Woods? Maybe.
Yeah, hello.
Robert Woods.
Yes.
Yeah, you could do Robert Woods.
I mean, there's
think-
no Traylon Burks.
There's no Traylon Burks. The scary part
Phillips
about
was a
this is
whisper
that, you know,
gone.
you know what? Yeah, you can do Robert Woods because he's basically fucking Rashad Bateman right now.
He's old man Bateman. This is your future, Robert Woods.
But hey, if you
Pretty good future though. I'm not gonna lie.
if you throw out that game where he scored a touchdown, his point per game average is not that great.
Oh,
Wait, what is his average at?
Actually, it's it's probably
Paul
less than
Casio.
it's probably less than Pitts. It's gonna be
Oh, the Casio.
it's gonna be 12 point. Here, I'll do it.
I need proof.
oh my God.
I need digital
Why are we
screen proof.
looking? Oh no.
12.57, 6-point touchdown. So 6 plus 7 is 13.
I mean, it's always 6-point touchdown.
yeah,
Math.
7.9 and 2.3.
Look what I brought us to. It's just an argument.
8.9 is the PPR average for Robert Woods.
You made the Cardinals sin, and you go, well, if you throw out this game,
Yeah,
and now
It's
Hopper's
fun.
just not gonna. He's just gonna be relentless for it.
right.
All right.
If you take away
we're-
that touchdown, though, it's a lot less. He's down.
all right,
Yeah.
we've spent enough. Ryan, quickly DFS plays. if
Derrick
there's
Henry,
any.
8,200. He's freaking chalk. He's always going to get all the carries no matter what. Robert Woods, like you said, no Treylon Burks, 5,200. I feel comfortable playing him.
Feel comfortable, but it's possible.
For DFS,
I don't feel
5,200.
comfortable playing him in fucking anything because he's only getting 5 targets a game.
Terry
It's
McLaurin
like,
is
it's like wearing holes in your box. It's like wearing boxers with holes in it, then you fart. You're just not really quite sure what happened.
Or
Like,
socks with holes in them, like around your toes and stuff, and it just feels awkward when one of the little guys slips out of that.
It does.
Terry
suck.
McLaurin is a freaking went from F1 to fake one for me. I have no faith in him at 61 or 6,200. But then I do like a sneaky start of Logan Thomas with Jahan Dotson being out, 3,200 as a
that's-
tight end. Tennessee has allowed 4 touchdowns already this season to
That is
tight ends.
a good call.
Actually, a good call. He was getting target volume too, and it's the tight end, so fuck it, why not?
Yeah, 3,200 on that.
Although, yeah, never mind.
All right.
If you throw out what game?
If you throw out the game where he caught the touchdown,
Chargers at the Browns. The Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. 47.5 is the game total. The fact that the Chargers are less than 3-point favorites feels like a gift from the gods.
they don't.
It's at the Browns.
They don't have
It's-
receivers.
It's Lake Erie.
I guess
they-
they have Mike Williams.
And they got Gerald Everett. He's
He's
been a thing. He actually has been pretty good in the absence of Keenan Allen.
He's been very
Still.
good in the absence of Keenan Allen.
I'm still taking the Chargers at 3 points.
He's the anti everyone else we talked about because there's actually only one bad game. You throw out that bad game, he's been exceptional.
Yeah.
It's
He's
not
still the
throughout
same
one-
because there's only one bad game.
Well, it's not throughout one good game and they've been bad. It's throughout one bad game and he's been really good.
Yeah, bam.
Especially in
Fixed
a
it.
year full of bad tight ends.
It's like bad
He's
data. You know, that
cooking.
one bad data point, you take it out. It's all good again.
All right.
Actually,
Fantasy
I
plays.
hope you understand how true that is.
I do it all the time.
There's one bad record that won't load. You just throw it out.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's all set.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I suppose you want me to talk about this game, huh?
I mean, you don't have to.
Nah, Mike Williams and Gerald Everett, you're totally fine with Justin Herbert. Cleveland's got a good defense, but it's the Chargers. They're decent. Mr. Eckler, I haven't checked in on him in a bit, actually. He's fine. 2 touchdowns last week, 60 yards. He got off the schneid a little bit after some slow starts. Not great against the Browns historically, though. You could be looking at Floyd. You're still playing him. Brown side of the football, Nick Chubb. And the Chargers defense hasn't been good, so I guess you can run it back with Cooper, even though he dudded you last week.
But if you take that game out, he's been doing really good.
And week 1. You got to take week 1 out too, and then he's get rid of those 2 games.
I hate you
he's been
so
fine.
much, Ryan. I hate you so much.
Did you realize how identical his stat lines were week 2 and 3?
Who?
Amari Cooper, 101 yards and a touchdown both weeks. 7 and 9 receptions, but
Oh wow.
no.
Ryan just
Oh,
trying out
oh
all the
wow was
callbacks.
last week's joke. Like we only get 1 a week.
All right,
I'm always falling
DFS
behind.
plays.
I still feel comfortable with Mike Williams being the number 1 wide receiver there. He's been proven he can handle the load. He's getting 7+ targets a game. It's because I
Right.
said the load.
Sorry, I'm a child.
I mean, I am a child, so
Yeah, all right. He's been getting the targets.
nope.
He's been getting the catches. All right. He's been getting the mother load from Justin Herbert.
Jesus Christ, are we done with the noon games yet?
No.
How does the
We're
NFL have 45 noon games?
We have. This is our last noon game, so we're almost
Yeah.
there.
And then David Njoku on the other side, 3,800. He still saw 7. He got 7 catches. He was number 2 in targets. I'd still be
I
at
do like David Njoku.
We got a question.
Thank
Then we'll
God.
move on. to the
Thank
noon,
God.
to 3:00. Alex wants to know. It's different, Alex. I believe. Should I start McKenzie? I'm assuming Isaiah or Tyler Algier.
Well,
His
right now,
flex.
Isaiah McKenzie's concussed and he's not practicing. So I would say, as of today, it's Algier. Assuming
Yeah.
that they both play, that McKenzie's cleared, I would go McKenzie. There's more upside there. Bucks have a stout defense. You need to see a little bit of it from Algier, even though there might be a little bit more insulated floor. Give me McKenzie on the good offense. But again, he's concussed, so you're gonna need to wait until Sunday. He was expected to be limited in practice today, and then he was not. So
Ryan, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'd still go Algier. I mean, that's all you got. You know, it's easier to go with the running back that you know that's looking like it's going to get the shares. So I feel comfortable running him out, knowing that he already did 10 for 84. So, and we'll see how he can do against the Buccaneers on this one.
I will say, Alex, tune in Sunday when we give you the injury update on McKenzie, and we can fully answer this question for you.
yeah, here's my
You
problem.
got another
71, 167 the last 3 weeks for the Bucks, and then did give up 189 rush yards to the Chiefs. But how did they do that?
because
The Chiefs were ahead,
the Chiefs were dominant.
dominating.
And Rashad White had a kickoff fumble. I think the Chiefs scored like 2 plays later. They were playing with 9 the entire game. All right, Anton, question: pick 2, 1 running back, 1 flex. Opera, get the board ready. It's actually not that bad. Dobbins, Godwin, Damian Pierce, Drake London, Romeo Dobbs. 1 running back, 1 flex.
Oh,
So Dobbins versus Pierce. Let's start with that one.
let's start with
Dobbins or
that for
Pierce.
the running back. Let's see. Ravens have the Bengals. Texans have the
He's-
Jaguars. I want to say Pierce, actually. Dobbins still dealing with the chest injury, still working his way back. He had the touchdowns last week, but still wasn't super efficient. I want to say Pierce on that one, but it might be both. Ultimately,
I
I like Dobbins.
I think the answer is both. I think the flex, if you bring flex into this too,
becomes Dobbins versus Godwin.
I think it's Dobbins and Pierce in both.
Just be on the
in
safe
both their
side.
spots. Well, I mean, it's you
You
got
know the
to see
guaranteed
you
touches.
got to see Dobbins is week 2 into his into this season. He a couple touchdowns. Divisional matchup. That Cincinnati can also keep pace and score a bunch of points. So
Yeah,
there's even a lot of touchdown upside to it. And now he's 3 games into his return. It just
Godwin's
it's still his backfield. I know Gus is back, but I don't think he's going to play this week. So
No, and Godwin's back on the injury report with a knee injury too, and got banged up with the shoulder and stuff last week. And I think that Tampa Bay is still smart to kind of ease him back a little bit. So, I want to say Pierce and Godwin, but I don't think I can. I think it's going to be Pierce and Dobbins for me. Well,
Yeah, I usually tend to go RB heavy over the wide receiver.
You do.
So I know our running backs are tending to get more of the carries. It's more guaranteed compared to a wide receiver who, if they don't get the targets, they don't get the catches, they're not going to get you the points.
It's usually how it works for wide receivers. Yeah, they got to get you targets and catch. You got to have targets to have catches. You got to have catches to have points. Unless you're Deebo Samuel.
Running backs run the ball. They're going to get the ball. They're going to touch the ball.
That is true, and so do wide receivers sometimes, but not a lot much. And
all right.
But if you take out that one game,
all right, JD Hunter, what up, JD?
JD, this is a shit show of a show. Well, so far what we've learned is that wide receivers.
He's got a question. I'm trying to. Throw
it's a good.
Hold on. I need JD to know that wide receivers catch footballs and running backs run footballs. Wide receivers need targets to get points. That's what we've decided on this show today.
And if you take out bad games, they seem to look better.
And if you take out good games, they can look bad.
They seem to work. All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Would you play? He needs upside at quarterback. Would you play Russell Wilson or Jared Goff this week?
I'm playing Russell Wilson for upside. Jared Goff might be throwing to the fucking hot dog vendor.
I would say tune in to Sunday when we figure out which Detroit receivers are actually going to be.
Well, you can't tune in Sunday. It's Russ. He plays Thursday.
Oh fuck, that's right.
I'm going Russ.
I mean,
look, Jared Goff.
First off, he can tune in Sunday, and he fucking will now.
Right, but
no, we can't answer his question on Sunday, but he can definitely.
We could answer it too. We're just gonna have a lot more information, and it might not matter to him. I'm going Russell.
Russell will be baking. Russ is baking on Thursday.
Yeah, go with Russell. I mean, look, when no offense, but the vendor's name is Special Agent Tom Kennedy. He might be the top wide receiver available for the Lions. Special Agent Tom Kennedy.
The answer is Russ.
Maybe I shouldn't have dropped Zach Zinner that quick. Maybe they'll bring him back to play wide receiver.
Oh my god! All right. Thanks for the questions. We're moving on.
For those
to be reviewed because we're done with the noon games.
For those curious, by the way, I did drop Zach Zinner this week. If you were still holding on to him,
wow.
True story.
Oh man, what a legend in Hopper's roster.
Beer review.
Khalil Pimpleton didn't survive the cut down either.
Oh.
I think that's what I'm going to do in that league is that there's always going to be somebody I can throw on IR, and I'm just going to grab whatever obscure name I can find on the waiver wire, and it's going to hit at some point.
Fucking IR roulette.
All right. Or I'm just going to pick up Khalil Pimpleton every week.
There you go.
Anyway.
Ryan, start.
You know what? I was actually surprised. So they had the Still Breweries Wild Sour Series. Is it called the Alimahua?
Alimahua means five fruits in Hawaiian.
It does. It says that on the back. It says a refreshing sour ale that tastes like your favorite vacation in paradise. Pineapple, coconut, mango, passion fruit, and guava combined for a beer that is fruity, tart, and full of flavor. Cheers. And I definitely caught all of that in it. And it wasn't that bad. Consider I don't like sours. I didn't really have that sour like afterburn in my throat. So very good.
Yeah. We know how to make sours. We're pretty well known. We make pretty good ones.
The still sours are things of legend.
I can't stand sour. Most sours, like I feel like it's like so much like I just puked. Like that phlegm in the back.
Yeah,
it's so gross. This one I didn't get that.
Because we're good. We make good sours. I got water. I'm not reviewing my water. Hopper, you can go.
All right.
Is it Illinois water?
No, it's bottled.
It's bottled. It's from Walgreens.
6-year Heaven Hill is a classic $20 bottle for a reason. It's got that classic Heaven Hill nuttiness. It's got a good amount of. It's actually got some honey character to it. Just good old classic bourbon notes. So finishes with a little bit of dry oak and some baking spice, light pepperiness. But the classic note you're going to get out of Heaven Hill is kind of nutty, a little bit of honey. So kind of like honey roasted peanuts on the front end of this one. But, overall, it's good drinking. You're not going to confuse it with anything that has like super high in depth or anything like that. But for a $20 bottle, it's fantastic. Just like for a late round quarterback, Blake Bortles was fantastic.
All right. We have 5 games left.
Let's roll.
3 o'clock.
Let's
roll. Niners at the Panthers. Niners are 6.5-point favorites. 38.5 is the game total. Very little faith in Carolina to actually score points in this game.
Or any week for that matter.
Or really any week for that matter. I will take the Niners, despite the game manager quarterback. So I'll take Niners in the points, and I will stay away from the game total. It feels like a trap.
Yeah, the Panthers aren't exactly giving up a ton either. But for the Niners, you can go with your normal Kittle, Debo. Jeff Wilson should be starting, so him. And I mean, the Panthers do have a good defense, so just keep that in mind. You're expecting floor. Probably steer clear of Ayuk. You take away that one touchdown, or that game where he had one touchdown. I'm actually kind of being serious. He's not really put up a good game yardage or target-wise. Touchdowns are fluky, so he had an okay game in week 2, but still nothing fantastic. So kind of joking, kind of being serious with that one. Steer clear of Ayuk. Go Debo, Jeff Wilson, George Kittle, because tight ends. On the other side,
Literally, that's the only reason why, because they don't use Kittle at all in the offense. It's fucking sad.
No, he's a very good blocker.
It's just,
You'll get blocking points.
I fucking hate it.
he is a good blocker.
Fuck you, Kyle Shanahan.
But-
God damn it.
Yeah, only reason. The other side of this, for the Panthers, you don't trust anything against a good 49ers defense that isn't named Christian McCaffrey.
Nope.
Even DJ Moore.
No,
Sweet
Moore's
Brent's
been
on the bench.
totally goddamn useless.
It's so, God, Ryan, our boy Baker, just killing everything that's
Dude,
not McCaffrey.
My vibe is gone. I feel like it's time to blow the candle out. I can't
had
stand Baker
11
anymore. He's hurting my
targets.
feeling.
For 50 yards, DJ Moore did.
God. What happened
hurting
to
my
Baker?
feelings.
What? Jesus, everything. Destroy the man's confidence is gone.
Is it Baker or is it Matt Rule? I'm starting
It's
to wonder now.
both.
How many times can you blame the coach for Baker Mayfield not being good?
Every time until it works.
No.
Every time.
No. It's a lot of Baker at this point. He's
Yeah.
got no confidence anymore.
But the problem is that if he can't perform with Rule, he's not going to get another chance to perform. So
No, this is it. I think he's.
Yeah.
This might be. I think he's backup rule after this somewhere.
And if Carolina, have they won any games this year?
no,
They won one. They beat the Jets week 1.
Yeah, they're
right?
one.
no,
I'm
they
sorry.
beat New Orleans week 3.
So they're 1-3. Maybe Matt Rule gets fired. God, that'd be the fucking dream.
Well, you're hoping.
He's not the problem for Baker. He's the problem for the entire fucking offense.
There's a
So
problem for
Yeah.
that team. Didn't
Yeah,
they give
he
him a
is so
lifetime
bad.
contract?
No,
God, I hope not.
I think it was like a 4 or 5 year deal, wasn't it? Well, while you're looking at that, I'll look at DFS real quick with Jeff Wilson.
7 years, $62 million for Matt Rule.
Ooh.
Oh,
$6
bro.
million
Doesn't mean
I
bucks
can't-
from Baylor.
that's a lifetime deal.
Pretty much. God, that's so bad.
Oh,
Oh. All right. DFS, Ryan.
Jeff Wilson, man, 5,500, 18 plus carries in 2 of the last 3 games. The one that he didn't get the 18 carries, he got injured during the Bears. So we know how the San Francisco likes to run the ball. Whoever the top running back gets the ball no matter what. So
Yeah.
I'm willing to go get him in there. And then George Kittle, like you said, he's blocking. He's actually the highest dollar tight end on this slate at 5,200. So
Who is?
Dude,
Kittle?
Kittle.
That's because Kelsey is not on the
It's because
slate.
Kelsey,
Kelsey-
nor
Andrews.
Andrews, yeah.
Nor
Or
Andrews.
Waller. And Waller's on Monday night.
Waller's Monday night also.
How the fuck is Kittle so?
He's 5,200. He's the highest paid. He's the highest
It
dollar
should be.
one.
I mean, at this point, it should be Gerald fucking Everett. He's the only guy that's been performing this.
Or
now.
Zach,
Yeah.
well,
Well,
Zach
three.
Ertz.
Ertz. I guess Goddard too. I mean, Goddard could have been, but Kittle's off the name, and they put these salaries together, like the basis of this with very little tinkering pretty early on. So, all right. Anyways,
Yeah, we can move on.
Eagles at the Cardinals. Eagles are 5.5-point favorites on the road. 48.5 is the game total. It's a tale of what Cardinals we get, because it's been so up and down and unpredictable with this team. They're finally getting healthy. We're still a couple weeks away from Hopkins back. And Philly's been on fire. I'll take Philly in the points on the road. It should be a tough matchup. I'm not putting a lot of money on it, and I'm staying away from the total. I don't trust Arizona enough to feel confident that they're gonna be able to put up enough points to push this game over. but we know that they can, and that's where that dilemma stands from.
Yeah, both tight ends in this one, as we just discussed.
We just talked. Yeah,
we literally just talked about with
Yeah.
Ertz and Goddard. Obviously, both quarterbacks. Miles Sanders is having an up year, very quietly for that matter, but he is having a much better season than years past. He's healthy, so you can absolutely go with him. Other than that, on the Eagles side, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, both also having, pretty good seasons. Smith had a couple big games against Minnesota and Washington, not so great against Jacksonville. There is a weather factor there. I expect this game could be a little bit more high scoring, so I'm completely okay with Devonta Smith along with A.J. Brown as well. On the Arizona side of this, Greg Dortch had another down week after a hot start. I do think you can probably run it back with him, but you're most interested in Zach Ertz, Marquise Brown, James Conner.
Yeah, this is one stack I'm actually looking to stack with the Philly Arizona. I think it's gonna be a high scoring.
I do
So I'll
too.
definitely getting Jalen Hurts in there somehow. Trying to pair him up.
I
with
hope it is.
AJ. AJ Brown or even Devonta Smith, because after his down game, I wouldn't mind throwing him back up in there at 6,000.
He's still good.
Right, Miles Sanders at 6,500, like you said with the tight end. Both tight ends are very good. Zach Ertz at 4,800. Dallas scored $1,000 or $100 cheaper at 47. So yeah, if anyone can build around this lineup, I would build around this.
It'll be a very
go for a main
popular.
slate.
It'll be a pretty popular game. I think you're going to see a lot of entries built from this game. All right,
Yeah.
we got a question before we move on. Pretty easy, or not easy one, but pretty Duvernay or Corey Davis for a full season bench stash.
Corey Davis.
I said as
Corey
of
Davis.
today. I say as of today, Corey Davis, because it's a full season. A lot of shit can happen. But if you're asking me today, I'm with you guys on Davis.
Yeah, that's where I'm projecting on Corey Davis. Devin Duvernay is basically super touchdown dependent. There's never going to be volume going his way.
Yeah. It's hard to want to stash anybody from that Baltimore receiving core, because it goes to two players and that's pretty much it.
Unless one of them gets injured, right?
Yeah, but even then too, it's
Even
Duvernay's never really been a volume guy.
He's basically topping out at 4 targets.
Yeah. And it's not like if Bateman gets hurt, Bateman's 7, 8. So yeah, there's some improvement, but he's also doesn't play the Bateman role.
When I think of guys that are going to be season-long bench stashes, I typically am looking at floor, because you don't season-long bench stash ceiling. It either hits or you get out because it's not hitting at all.
Yeah.
You want floor, especially as you enter your bye weeks, and Corey Davis does provide that.
Yeah, especially if his rapport continues with Wilson.
I like it.
Cowboys at the Rams. Rams are 5.5 point favorites at home. I don't think we're getting Dak this week. 43 and a
He
half.
can't grip the ball.
So he's probably a couple more weeks out.
Yeah.
43 and a half is the game total, which speaks to that question. Like Dallas has been sneaky competitive with Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush has been good.
And the Rams have been pretty lackluster.
Pretty freaking terrible.
It's been they've struggled to win games in which they should have blown people out, and it's not been pretty. With that said, I kind of like Dallas to cover this 5.5. I don't love it, because once the Rams figure it out, I think it's off to the races. And Dallas got a good defense, a strong pass rush. Diggs is really settled down on what he gives up, and he's going to see a lot of Allen Robinson. Will be my guess. So I'll take I'll take Dallas to cover 5.5, and I'm staying away from the game total.
Yeah, I'll start with the Rams because it's easy. You can't trust anything other than Cooper Kupp there. Tyler Higbee does the least with any targets
Tight
that he
ends,
gets.
I know,
Yeah.
but he gets
Right.
he gets a lot of fucking targets.
Allen
targets.
Robinson has continued the same problems he's had with the Bears, and McVay's basically said it's the coverage that they're showing him, so we're not going his way. But if he can beat that coverage, then he's fine. The problem with Robinson is he doesn't beat coverage, and he never has. He's always won man-to-man. If you zone him, he's totally screwed. So, and even with the Bears, he started to lose a step in man-to-man. So I think, those problems are Robinson, and you absolutely cannot trust it right now. So it's only Cooper Kupp for the Rams. I don't even think you can trust either running back right now. Akers has the edge, but it's tough. And it's the same thing with Dallas. You can't really trust either running back right now. You had a huge game from Pollard 2 weeks ago, but other than that, it's been pretty mediocre, and Zeke is just kind of right there in that. I feel like running backs are starting to get that tight end clump we used to talk about, where there's a bunch of them that are just going to give you 50 yards every week, and you have to live with it.
Yeah.
And
I'd almost play Pollard this week over Zeke.
I'd still play Zeke. He's getting the attempts.
I think I'm not saying that you have to play Zeke, but with running back landscape right now, most people are probably still playing Zeke.
I'd rather play Zeke than Pollard this week. As far as Dallas wide receivers go, Michael Gallup coming back really threw, a little bit of and Dak being out. Not so much Dak being out, more so Michael Gallup being back there threw a bit of a damper on the Noah Brown thing. And it was always going to. You're kind of split right now. You did have an edge in targets to Noah Brown, but Gallup got the touchdown. So
and Dalton Schultz is back. Not productive, but he is back.
Well, and he's practicing all this week too. So he had zero burger last week, but he is practicing all this week. CeeDee Lamb's been good. It's CeeDee Lamb, Dalton Schultz, because look, if you have a tight end, you're just probably starting them right now.
You're playing Big B, and it feels gross every time.
Your tight end choices are just as good as any others, as long as they're starting for some NFL team.
As long as they breathe.
Yeah,
it's not. Okay, we're not getting fucking rapey, Ryan.
So as long as they breathe it and they can go in your lineup, they're good.
Putting it shortly, I do think you can stream Cooper Rush as well. The Rams secondary has been pretty bad. That's all I got. Rams defense is bad. It's a stream Cooper Rush, play Zeke, flex value or higher, play CeeDee Lamb, obviously. Don't really need to say that one. Dalton Schultz has a pulse and he's a tight end. The other side of this is Cooper Kupp, and Tyler Higbee has a pulse and he's a tight end.
DFS, Ryan.
Yeah, it's
and then they got pulses so they can play.
Yeah, you could play Elliott. I mean, he's fine under $6,000. He's at 5,800. Every other running back starts dropping down after that. Pollard's at 5,700. So pick and choose how you feel.
God, same price.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp is the highest wide receiver at 9,600.
It's not surprising.
So I mean, yeah,
he gets all the fucking volume. That's why
he is the wide receiver one. So I mean, it's comfortable to say he's worth the 9,600. Gallup, like you were saying, like Noah Brown, is fading away, but Noah Brown had the 6 targets compared to Gallup's 3. But Gallup did get that touchdown, which did help. But the one thing I actually like, the one play I like this week is the Dallas Cowboys defense at 2,500.
I do, because strong pass rush and a very opportunistic secondary. So
Michael
Stafford is
Trayvon Diggs.
He's not immune to turnovers. That motherfucker might be. It might be falling to him. He just attracts turnovers.
Yeah, he's looking like a Detroit Lion again.
It's like it's like he is who he's always been.
Yep.
Shocking. All right.
He nailed it.
How about game of the week? Bengals at the Ravens. Ravens 3-point favorites at home, 48.5 the game total. It's a Sunday night football.
Is this game of the week?
I would call this game of the week.
I would go Eagles Cardinals.
For but yeah, you guys are a little higher on the Cardinals than I am. I'm a little more hesitant.
I just think they have some wide receivers other than I think they have a couple more wide receivers that can hit. Gives you a little bit more total players from this one than Bengals Ravens does. Anyway, sorry.
Is it? Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. 3-point favorites. Ravens are at home. 48.5 is the game total. Ravens have been very disappointing in terms of being able to close out games. Though the Bengals have also been disappointed to start off the year, but they've been starting to catch on to that heat as this team starts to improve. I actually like the Bengals to win this game as much as it hurts to say as a Ravens fan. They're starting to click in the right directions as Baltimore is just kind of reeling with these last minute losses here. I'll take Cincinnati to cover +3, and I'll take the over at 48.5.
T. Higgins is trending up. Jamar Chase is down. You're starting them both. Joe Mixon is struggling, but again, what running back isn't right now?
Right.
I mean, you don't have any clear-cut running back that you plug in and you're like, oh my God, I'm so happy I started them. There just really isn't one at the moment.
Feels so weird.
Yeah. So you can do just as good with Joe Mixon as you can with anybody else right now. On the other side of this, Justice Hill's hurt, although, yeah, you get it. J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins dealing with a chest injury, but he did come back relatively strong last week. Still want to see a little bit, you'd still hope to see a little bit more efficiency out of him, not so much touchdown dependency, but he's definitely flex plus value. Rashad Bateman in this one, they will have to throw, so he is going to be their leading wide receiver target getter. Mark Andrews. It's pretty chalk for Baltimore.
And they got some guy named Lamar Jackson,
Yeah, Lamar
running
Jackson's
back. He's
been-
pretty good. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he can throw a little bit too.
Yeah.
I feel the same as like it's chalk. Like it's Lamar Jackson, $8,000. Joe Burrow at 6,700. That's kind of a really good deal right there because you can try to piece him up with T Higgins at 6,500. And I feel like it's almost like a trap game because like a lot of people look at this and see the opposition rank of 32nd for the wide receiver. And that I think it was because more of Baltimore secondary was more injured, if I'm right. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, on that one.
No, they're still very
Still
much
very
hurt.
injured. Yeah,
They're still very hurt. I thought they were starting to like come back, and
It's
But I
yeah.
if they're still hurt, I'm going Chase, Higgins, Bateman, like you said, because they're gonna have to be trying to play catch up. Mandrews is for sure, and that's it. We're on the next game, and that one's easy chalk on
really
that.
chalk for that one.
You're right. Before the last game, we got a trade question from Gitz. Gitz, the name looks familiar.
Hello, gets it.
He gets it. All right. This is he's trying to trade for Nick Chubb. I don't know if he's got an offer out, or he's trying to put one together here. But we got Godwin in London for Chubb, or AJ Brown and Bateman for Chubb. Trying to do the 2-for-1. I'm assuming this is his base of his receiving core here. He just posted his full team. I don't want to read it all off. But you look at excuse me, you're looking at a pretty solid receiving core here. Kupp, AJ Brown, Drake London.
Oh,
He's got Godwin, Bateman. And his running backs is Saquon and Monty. So he's in dire need of an RB2. And the offer is out to him. So it looks like he's got two different Chubb offers, and he basically gets to pick and choose which wide receiver duel he wants to match. I would go London and Godwin.
I'd second
I actually like that move because you're not hurting your top two. I would much rather keep AJ Brown and pair that with
Cooper
Kupp.
Kupp. Yeah.
That's a good. I think that's a good deal. If you can trade Godwin London for Chubb, I think this is redraft. I do that all day and twice on Sunday.
I do it 3 times on Sunday, actually.
Yeah, Bateman and London are pretty similar, but in different ways. Whereas Bateman's very efficient without a lot of volume, and London's got a good amount of volume, but hasn't been super efficient. So this really comes down to Godwin versus Brown for me. And right now, I think Brown has more value to you. With Godwin, it's going to be reliant on the Buccaneers continuing their upward trend and him being healthy. And I mean, if that happens by the end of the season, if you were to tell me he was a better wide receiver from week 5 on than AJ Brown, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But I think AJ Brown at this point is a bit more of a sure thing. So I would agree on the Godwin London side. Although my personal feeling is that by the end of the season, Godwin, especially week 5 forward, could be better than AJ Brown is. But you got to go with right now.
That's
And
probably side to side. I would I would still lean AJ Brown's got higher upside than Godwin, just giving up
Yeah.
the improvement of Philly's offense.
With the way Hurts has been going.
Brown's the number one, and I don't think you can say that Godwin's the number one in Tampa.
I don't think you can say that he isn't either, though. It's been 1A, 1B there since Brady got there. So I just, yeah. And, I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I think that it is Godwin in London, but
I appreciate the breakdown through it. I do. And I get it because you also have to look at it because I don't know if London and Bateman are going to be at the same level by the end of the year, but that's all projecting, right? That's why you make these deals. And I would take the risk that you're making the better move of Godwin and London for Chubb.
Yeah.
And hope the guy that Chubb can stay healthy.
No,
the running backs.
And I'm with you there. And AJ Brown has more value right now, and it is more of a sure thing. So,
yeah. All right. Last game. Thank you guys for the question. It's a good question. It's good seeing you back again, bud. Raiders at the Chiefs. Chiefs 7.5-point favorites at home. 51.5 is the game total, which I believe is the highest on the week and one of the only game over 50. God, that's insane. The Chiefs are rolling, right? This offense actually has been better without Tyreek Hill. I know it may come up. I don't think it's that shocking, to be honest, but I know some people are. These games though have always been high scoring and probably closer than they should. I take the Raiders at 7.5 and hope that the offense can keep up. They get Renfro back, which is big for the team. Hopefully Waller can play. He's not hurt, right?
No,
not yet.
Yeah, there's no question. Yeah, there's no tag on him.
All right. For some reason I thought that he was banged up. I take the over and I take the Raiders to cover. I do think the Chiefs will win, but 7.5. It's a lot of points still.
Yeah, the Raiders are going to have to be clicking on all cylinders, and
they do.
But you are absolutely right about these games typically being a little bit higher scoring than what they should be. If we go out and look at last year's Raiders-Chiefs games, I think what they're going to show us is
over the last 3 years. I mean, it's been pretty. I think last year was kind of down because Chiefs' offense were kind of
48
out of sorts. I think
48-9. The Chiefs stomped them in Week 14.
Oh well,
and it was 41-14 in Week 10.
Well, last year was not a good example for me.
But morally, it was closer.
Let me go look at.
I feel like the games are.
It was 40-32 in 2020 in Week 5. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at the. Yeah, and 31-35. So you're thinking 2020. They played very closely in 2020, and with Devontae Adams, I don't see that much hasn't changed for the Raiders. Right? They've added Devontae Adams. I see no reason why they can't play them close, but they're going to have to be clicking on all cylinders there for Waller, Adams, Renfro. Go ahead. Same thing
Mac Hollins, baby.
Same thing with Jacobs. I'm not. Mac Hollins has been fine as a 2 or a 3, though. Even last week, he put up, I think, 67 yards and
a touchdown.
And
again,
did he have another touchdown last week?
He did. Because I played against him in a lot of leagues. We joked about it Sunday, but I played against him in a lot of leagues last week.
He did not have a touchdown last week.
I swore I thought he's. Oh no, it got called back.
Before.
Yeah. No, he had one, but he stepped out of bounds.
It wasn't great last week. It was 3 receptions, 5 targets for 33 yards, and with Renfro back, I'm not saying Mac Hollins.
No, God,
it's going to be Renfro, Devontae Adams, Darren Waller. You can stream Derek Carr. As far as the Chiefs go, it is a Juju game, and I have to preface that. Juju is their leading target getter at wide receiver, but they didn't need him last week, and it showed.
Yeah.
So he still got 8 targets last game.
He had 8 targets, but he didn't catch that many of them.
5?
Well, when you're up by that many points
constantly, you're not having to push pace.
Yeah. That's the Juju game.
Yeah. And
8 targets, 50 yards.
And it is. I mean, 8 targets and... Well, and he was 6 of 8 for 79, 5 of 8 for 89, 5 of 8 for 46. In this one, I think you do trust it.
I like the
efficient offense.
That's a wide receiver 3 flex. I feel. Yeah. I mean, it's not great because you want some more touchdown upside, but that's what you like. It's like no one should be shocked by the stat lines.
No. So you go Juju here, and Clyde, because Clyde continues to be efficient, and he actually got a bit more run last week.
Yeah, 19 carries last week.
Yeah.
Freaking nuts.
I think at some point you just have to accept the fact that Clyde's
the
a
guy.
I'm
whole
starting him.
fucking new person. He's
I'm
looking like
starting him
the
this
Josh.
week.
He's like, I've been starting him every fucking game. He's been looking like the Josh Allen of running backs right now, just having
Like,
a
Jesus
whole
Christ.
body experience change. That and the fact he was hurt all last year, which nobody knew
Yeah,
about
19
until
for
this
92
offseason.
and a touchdown last week. So
And a
Yeah,
catch
just-
for a
I-
touchdown.
blowout. Yeah, and a reception and a receiving touchdown.
Dude, that was a pretty dope play too by Mahomes. That's all the games we got to. Ryan, is there any DFS?
Nah, I mean, it's pretty chalky with Edwards-Helaire, Josh Jacobs. You're going to play the quarterbacks. You're going to play the standard wide receivers. It's build it like you can.
This is going to be the game that's going to destroy all those lineups in the Thursday through Monday slate.
Yeah.
Those goddamn old timers out there playing it.
Yeah, because someone's going to play like, like what's this one guy down here is like $4,000 that probably won't do anything. Michael Burton, a running back, somehow will score 2 goal line touchdowns for
Well,
the Chiefs.
I think it's more so because people are going to would be game stacking this.
Or Sky Moore at 3,000 could be a sneaky start. He had 4 targets. Still had 4 targets.
All right, that's the show. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back on Sunday at some point. So watch the Twitters for that at Beerfield Podcast, where we get your audio. We will be back on audio this week. At Beerfield Hop, at Ryan Miner FFB, at Thury, at Beerfield Thury. Beerfield Thury. Fuck it. I don't care about your Twitter handle.
I know you don't.